Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Osu Catch World Cup 2022. This is round of 16. It's going to be a match of United States versus Poland. This is Snow Leopard, and I'm here today with Quentin. Quentin, how you doing?
Hey, Nick. I'm doing fine. What about you? Hyped for your nation facing off against Poland in this round of 16?
Oh, yeah. It's always a pleasure to be able to cast the United States matches, and man, if I could pick a team to cast them against, Poland would definitely be one of them. A lot of friends over on the Polish team, like Bobber, and I think it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, so do I. I definitely think this one of the highlights of the round of 16. Last winner bracket match of the weekend. There's still 2 loser bracket matches left as well after this, but first things first, United States or Poland. I'm curious to see where this is going to turn out. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you think the USA is heavily favored or sadly favored? Sadly, I'm saying heavily favored, or like is it Poland that is perhaps quite relatively close to US, or any other thoughts?
You know, I think United States will probably take the victory. They're just a really strong team. But that being said, I know that they were pretty worried about this match coming into Poland. Not only because Poland has just been getting stronger and stronger every year, but also because I believe the United States is going to be missing someone today from their roster.
Yeah.
So
I think that might be the case. We see actually, to completely change the topic, but the bans have been going really quickly actually. So we see Hunter 3 getting taken away by United States and Hidden 1 getting taken away by Poland. And I think those seem really reasonable bans from both teams. I do believe that Leku wasn't moved to the tournament, sir, so I'm not entirely sure if they are here. That might be a person liking for Poland. And the Creep was also not moved for the United States, so that might also be a player lacking for the US.
yeah, from what the inside knowledge I got from Captain Sekre the other day, I believe the Creeper is not here. That's going to be a big loss to the United States.
Yeah, definitely. But Leku not being there is somewhat a loss of for Poland as well. We see the first map actually being Nomad 2 being picked by Poland. Bower of Darkness, Skyly, and Trigon facing up against Sekre, Lexi, and Colin. 2 really strong rosters on both sides, really. But Poland starting things off with a Nomad pick that's a little less than 2 minutes long, so quite short, to be fair. There's 1 spinner at the end, so this could turn out to be spinner diff, but actually Skyly ended up dropping around 20 combos, so early advantage for the United States on this one.
Yeah, interesting to see the short Nomad coming out for the first pick. Might be a bit of a warm-up. I know Sekre earlier was saying they're worried about Hard Rock against Poland, and I think also Double Time with the Creeper being gone. So we'll have to see if any of those come out.
Yeah, I do believe Poland is somewhat favored on Hard Rock in general. Perhaps Mixed Mod, that could get really close as well. But they do end up going for Nomad, which seems reasonable. I do feel like this is a type of map that can be used to take away your nerves, but the fact that USA still triple SSing actually in the first half of this match is going to be somewhat worrisome for the Polish side, I do believe, and they can now clearly see that Skylia dropped at around 20 combos, 80 combos, so it's a 70,000 point advantage for the United States, but that's enough if they can keep holding on to their combos.
Yeah, really, this is going to be probably a match with a lot of small miscounts, and that early miss from Skylia could mean everything. But Colin going to miss, Bobber going to trade.
Oh, that's a huge trade for Bobber, from Bobber. But actually, Colin dropping once more. This is getting really close, actually. I think it's about time that Colin miss was a 30 combo. I'm not too sure how Score 2 works in this case, but that score was actually loaded up for Poland. Oh, this is flickering. This might actually end up being a spinner battle at the end because there's 1 spinner. But Trigon messing down.
Oh, Trigon.
And it's huge for the United States. And Lexi and Sekre versus Skylia right now. Polish side sadly crumbling there at the end. That's going to be a first point for the United States. But that was way closer than it could have been, actually. So, unfortunately for Trigon being lost to Miz on that side, because I do believe it would have switched to Poland. Because Colin's misses were a little more spread out. But it's beautiful double S's from Sekre and Lexi. So
yeah, like you said, I think that 1 miss from Trigon at the end, unfortunately, was just 1 too many. Right when they had the chance of stealing that win. I guess it wouldn't even be a steal; it was their pick. So a bit unfortunate. They're starting out their match with a break point.
Yeah, and interesting to see is that Poland was the best Nomad 2 and Nomad 3 player from last week. They were the best team out of all teams. And to then start out with Nomad 2 and lose on it, that's not good for Polish morale, I do feel like. So it's crucial for them to break the United States back on the upcoming pick, but I do believe they're going to go for hidden, so it's not going to be easy for Poland, but we'll have to see. But yeah, beautiful performance coming from Sekre and Lexi. I mean, the two powerhouses on the United States side, right? They're so strong. And yeah, Hidden 3 getting picked immediately. And I do believe we're going to see Elux and Zach coming in to support Lexi. On the Polish side, I would assume Lexi to be coming in, but he's not here, I do believe. So that's going to be Bobber, Trigon, and then I would say Mowers. Cosmate, I don't think he can play Hidden, so I think Mowers might be making his first appearance of this scheduled cup, actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, I believe you're correct, and there it is, Mowers coming in. Yeah. Right now we got Lexi and Sekre for the United States roster, but I would imagine Zach and Elux coming in, like you said, along with Lexi.
Yeah, Mowers a really promising new player in the Oscar Casual Cup, I do believe. Really consistent on early double time pulls. But having to fill in for Hidden now, I do believe. I think Poland would have rather put Leku in that position. Leku being known for his Hidden somewhat, so it's kind of weird that... well, it's kind of unfortunate rather for Poland that Leku is not here. But perhaps, I think Mowers, if I'm not mistaken, he can handle early Hidden pools as well, but if they do increase a little bit of difficulty and AR rating gets a little lower, then he does end up struggling. But this should still be part of his repertoire, let's put it that way.
Absolutely. We can see the captains in chat joking around about their missing players. So yeah, it does seem like Leku is going to be gone for this match, and the Creeper is also gone for this match.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Poland. It's a thing that's always been their biggest issue, right? It's not about skill. It's not about match. Well, they have had some really rough matchups in the past couple of years, but it's mostly about just getting 6 people together that are motivated to play in the World Cup. And once again, they lack another player. They lacked Mowers last week, but they didn't end up mattering. But they lack Lekuru this week, and that's not looking too bright for the Polish side, I do believe.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And then we mentioned Elux earlier, possibly coming in for this hidden pick, but it looks like Sekre is going to be staying in instead.
A captain taking that role. Also a relatively decent high AR hidden player. He can manage, let's put it that way. Obviously not known for his hidden. But if you're a top tier player, you're known for, well, pretty much everything anyway. Or you're good at everything anyway, let's put it that way.
Yeah, if this was a low AR, I would definitely expect to see Elux coming in.
Yeah, same. We see Sekre and Mowers being the first straight misses. So, it's going to be early advantage slightly for Poland's favor, but Mowers ends up dropping once again. So 2 of these versus 2, but double miss from Mowers.
Yeah, Bobber going to follow up with that miss now. And then Sekre and Mowers again. Zach now 2.
Yeah, Lexi versus Trigon, probably the best hidden players on either team, so to be expected to have these two still a seeing. But Mowers slightly struggling, not even an S-rank right now.
Yeah, Mowers definitely hurting here.
Yeah, and Trigon dropping his loss of C for Poland gone, and Lexi still holding on to a double S is going to give the United States quite a decent buffer of about 100,000 points.
Yeah, we talked about how much of a problem might be to have Leku gone, and we can really see it. Mowers is trying his best, but he just can't really pull it off. Barely above 98% accuracy right now. So we get a lot of other misses across the board, but it doesn't matter. United States have quite a buffer of score right now, over 100k.
Yeah, Bobber also not able to hold combo. Trading miss with Sekre. Sekre is slightly struggling. Zach ends up dropping as well, but Lexi, I mean, well, he's probably the best player in the world anyway, so that was to be expected, but still. Huge performance coming from Lexi. Bobber dropping once more, but there's such huge cushion for the United States that they needed an absolute meltdown if Poland want to come back into this. Not a bad score in Trigon either, currently on the 1 miss, but Mowers and Bobber just sadly not able to support him as much as he'd like to. But Lexi, I mean, wow, what a performance from Lexi. That's a beautiful score.
Yeah, Trigon doing really good there as well, but I mean, he's not going to be able to hold up against Lexi. And then you look at Bobber and Mowers versus Sekre Zach, and it's just honestly, if you look at miscount, it doesn't look as huge. But if you look at score, huge difference there. Zach 939,000. Everyone else like in the low to mid 800,000.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sekre somewhat struggling on that one, but immediately Nomad 1 getting picked. I mean, I noticed last week as well, Poland does not mess around. They pick immediately. They have a game plan ready and they're going for it. And they go for Nomad 1. I think that's a reasonable pick. Nomad 2 was relatively close. But I do expect Lexi. I mean, Lexi currently at the 100% SS rate in this match, and I don't see him missing that often. So that left side of the screen is so scary. And Sekre on Nomad, I don't expect him to be missing as well. But we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, it's interesting. You can tell that the United States is definitely taking us very seriously, with Elix not having been subbed in yet. Obviously, with Creeper gone, he's the only one who hasn't played yet in this match, but I think Sekre was a bit worried about this matchup against Poland, so doesn't want to take any risks on the newest addition to the roster quite yet, but maybe once they have a few more points on the board, we'll start seeing Elix sub in for some of these maps.
Yeah, definitely the case. We see Colin making his reappearance. I mean, Colin's now the third player for the United States with the Creeps not here. On the other side, we see Bobber actually dropping out for Cosmit, and then Skylia and Trigon. I mean, both rosters seem really good, and I think this map in particular, not a lot of misses to be expected. So this could swing either way. The map is 2 minutes in length only as well, 2 minutes 20, so it's relatively short. Atypical for a Nomad 1, mostly a consistency-based pick, but this round the map pool shows something different, and I personally like it. I like this map a lot. I think it's a really good map. It somewhat tests consistency, but not on a lengthy base. More it's just a consistently hard map. Let's put it. Let's look at it that way.
Yeah, gonna be a little longer than the first Nomad that we saw, 2 minutes 22 seconds, but still a bit on the shorter side. So misses will hurt here.
Definitely. Slightly shy of 1,000 combo from so you think like 980 or something. We're building up to that first KI section, and that is where we could see misses coming in, if any misses were to come in. We see accuracy drops on Trigon and Skylia. The droplets is barely on his score is 4v2, so that shouldn't matter.
Yeah, everybody holding on nice as we start to speed up through the song.
Yeah, no misses to be seen from all 6 players. Triple SS still coming in from the United States, so that's really nice because these drops are kind of placed in weird and funky places, but the United States do not seem to be bothered by that at all. But on the other side, the Polish 3 are still holding on to an FC. None of them holding on to the double S, but as I said, droplets are barely getting scores, so I don't think that's going to matter in the end.
Yeah, this map could use the good old Bob's droplet de-randomizer.
Definitely. Yeah, approaching 2/3. And Colin being the first to drop. Oh, that's not good news for the United States. And the Polish players are not trading that miss from Colin. And that's going to give 50 to 60,000 point advance in favor of Poland. Last quarter of the map. And well, the United States need to see a miss from Poland coming quite soon, or Poland is going to run away with this.
Yeah, that drop really crucial for Colin there. Right at, like you said, about 600 combo. And he drops again after hitting 200. Skyleo will trade.
Yeah, but that still favors Poland. 2 FCs versus 2.
Oh, Cosmet dropped now as well, though. I don't know if it's going to be enough. There's not much map left. We're almost at the end.
I think there's not enough time, but it's getting close. There's only the Spitter, and that's going to be the first Polish point on the board, actually. Winning their Nomad 1 pick by about 15,000 points, so really close. Once again, a double S coming from Lexi. Triple double S already in this match. Beautiful performance. An FC from Trigon. Trigon, honestly, also a new player in this year's CWBC, but he's been playing really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Trigon doing great so far in this match. And United States going right back to Hidden, trying to get another point. But this will be the last Hidden pick available, the title track by Origami Angel. It's a Crowley overdose from a set by Gems.
I think this is a reasonable pick coming from United States, seeing the skill differences on Hidden 3. So this makes perfect sense. But Poland on the board, that's good. It's not a clean sweep. And, well, all three of these picks, except for the Hidden one, have been really close. So I'm expecting some fireworks off of this Hidden 2. I think this Hidden 2 is heavily United States favored. However, Elix is making his first appearance of this match, so Nurse might be a factor. And Sekre was, somewhat struggling with the Hidden 3 pick, so could potentially have the same happening on this one. Curious to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, it's weird. So we have Elix in, which I'm happy to see, and I was expecting him to come in for one of these picks, but Sekre staying in instead of Zach. It's a curious decision. I'll have to chat with Sekre later and get his thoughts behind this decision, but maybe not a map that Zach is favored for.
I think Zach is more of the covered hidden player, and Elix more of the specific hidden player or something. I think they do it something like that.
Yeah, Zach definitely for sure would be good for the converts.
Yeah, and then low AR hidden is also Zach, and then Elix and Lexi. I think Sekre drops out as soon as the AR is a little too low. Yeah. On the other side, Mauer's making his reappearance, having to fill in that third spot once again. Because there is no Leku. An early drop coming from Sekre, so early advantage for Poland. But the map is 2 minutes 22 in length as well, so plenty of time for Poland to catch any more misses. Same for the United States, obviously.
Yeah, and as we can see right out of the gate, it's going to be a very jumpy map back and forth, so lots of opportunity to just not quite time things right and find a couple misses. We see Bobber and Sekre trading.
Mauer's dropping, and that's Elix actually trading that as well. So only Alexi versus Trigon once again. The two of them definitely the hidden powers. Bobber dropping once more is going to switch that advantage in favor of the United States. The hard wiggle section is coming up, and I do expect to see quite a lot of misses. But Elix dropping once more, that's actually going to tie things up, and might switch back to Poland, actually. Definitely after that miss. And Lexi's going to be finding his first match of this match, actually. So, Trigon, the only one in the full combo.
Oh, he finally found a miss, but yeah, he was doing beautifully on those wiggle sessions that were causing everybody struggles. Yeah,
that was a triple miss coming from Poland. And Sekre, the only one to hold on, actually Elix as well, trailing behind with a slightly lower combo. But Sekre pulling a lot of score for his team right now. Actually MVPing in the lobby. Well, actually MVP for his team, beating Lexi currently. So beautiful performance coming from Sekre. And that's a 70,000% difference in favor of the United States.
Yeah, Sekre showing that he can play hidden too. I mean, outperforming Lexi is damn near unheard of, so very impressive. And it's putting in a lot of work for his team right now.
Yeah, Mao is once again finding a drop, and it's not being traded by the United States. And that's been the issue for Poland, sadly. They keep missing without there being a trade from the United States. The United States does trade of trading that miss, and Elix drops up dropping as well, but double miss coming from Poland as well. And only an 8th of the map left, and only Lexi and Trigon. Once again, the two of them have been kind of countering each other. Trigon kind of getting the best out of Lexi on this one, but then Sekre and Elix beating Maris and Bubber of Dogs. Actually, Sekre with a beautiful 900,000 score. And, well, yeah, that's going to be a third point for the United States, and they have a clear hidden advantage, I do say. But if we're looking at, like, mixed mod or something, Trigon can definitely keep a par with Lexi, even beat him, because he outscored Lexi by 30,000 points, which is beautiful to see from Trigon.
Yeah, Trigon MVP of the lobby. Like you said, I think mixed mod has some real potential for Poland here, because they got Trigon, they got Skylea for Hard Rock, and then they can have one of their other players like Bobber fill in for that no mod.
Yeah, and they immediately go for that mixed mod 1. So, yeah, once again, Poland wastes no time. They're just so quick about it. So they go for mixed mod 1. I think both of us can agree that that seems a reasonable pick. But then again, if you're looking at the United States, they have Sekre and Hardwick and Lexi on hidden. And then
yeah, that is a quite a tall order to go against the, you know, very notable Hard Rock and Hidden players respectively.
So this one's going to get really close, I do feel. I'm curious to see. I think Skylia definitely is going to go for Hard Rock on this one, and then Trigon, Hidden, and Bomber of Darkness Nomad, I would assume. And then, yeah, Sekre, Colin, Lexi. I think that's quite expected.
Yeah, definitely the expected lineup here. Yeah, we could see Skylea hopping up top, I believe commonly the Hard Rock player slot.
Yeah, that is in fact the case. Hard Rock being worth more in Scorby 2 is puts a little bit more pressure on both players. So a miss from Skylea or Sekre will cost them more than this from any of their teammates. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Yeah, as Bauer points out, if Lekr is not here, then that's going to be a 0-2 start for them, given the hidden difference, and that's what we've seen. That Nomad 2 pick could have gone to Poland, then we would have had a tight match, but sadly for them, United States broke them. But it's definitely important for Poland to win this pick, because if they lose this pick, they're looking at a 4-1 scoreline, and 2 breakpoints behind. That's not going to be easy. Right? If they win this one, it's only 1 breakpoint difference, and they just have to find that breakpoint somewhere in the remainder of this match. So this is an important pick for Poland.
Absolutely, yeah. If they lose this and the United States win their pick, that puts them at match point. So they really need this one.
We see Triangle with the Hidden versus Lexi, and then Sekre versus Skylea, and Power of Darkness versus Colin on the Nomad. The map is 2 minutes 40 in length, so a little longer than the previous picks coming in. And the hardest part, in my opinion, is the middle part for the Hard Rock players, because, well, yeah, low density Hard Rock is never fun to play. And I think the beginning and the ending part are the hardest for the Hidden players, because of these sliders that are kind of rough to catch. But honestly, Dragon and Lexi have been popping off on Hidden, both of them, so not sure if any of the 2 of them are going to be missing at all.
Yeah, no misses so far as we cruise right past 200 combo, but Song's starting to pick up now.
I think this part is the hardest for the Nomad and the Hidden players, but both of them seem to be, all 4 of them seem to be quite, actually Colin being the first to drop though on the United States side, and that's going to give the advantage to Poland. Bomber of Darkness is not trading that miss, so 1 miss advantage in favor of Poland in the beginning stage of this Mixed Mod 1 pick.
Yeah, we're approaching about halfway through the map, so still plenty of time for it to swing either way, but that's definitely a comforting lead for Poland so far.
Yeah, still holding on to the Triple FC and the Hard Rock Hidden as well, so beautiful performance coming from Poland, actually.
Yeah, you can tell they were definitely confident in this one, and, you know, they have that game plan. They picked it immediately. They're ready to go. They're all approaching 500 combo with no difficulty.
Yeah, I think this is the hardest part for Hard Rock. Low density middle section, and it's like 30 or 40 seconds in length in total, so not that easy to remember. You can see Skylea sometimes going back and forth here, no, but not missing, which is huge. Both Hard Rock players still holding on to it, but Skylea ends up dropping, and that's huge for the United States, actually. I did somewhat curse it, my apologies, Poland.
But yeah, as you mentioned, that section really difficult. You could see Skylea was looking a little wobbly there. Finally slipped up.
And that's going to switch the advantage in favor of the United States, because the Hard Rock players work more, so a miss is also more painful for Poland. And that's going to be a difference maker, actually. And look at that scoreboard, slightly in favor of the United States. They just have to hold on to their 3 combos, and the point is theirs. Beautiful FCs coming in from Sekre, Lexi, Trigon, and Bomber of Darkness still.
Oh, Trigon goes down, though. So Lexi will trade, so that's going to keep it evened up.
They need Colin or Sekre to drop, though. And that is not looking likely at the ending of the stage of this map. Ooh, and that's going to be a win by 9,000 points. Wow, that's unfortunate for Poland. I mean, this is somewhat the issue with Mixed Mod currently, being the fact that Hard Rock is worth more than No Mod, and that's the difference maker for this one, because otherwise this would have been an tight scoreline. Beautiful FCs coming from Sekre and Bomber. I mean, Sekre, the Hard Rock player on the United States FC, and his teammates missing is a huge for the United States. Actually, beautiful performance coming from Sekre, especially. and breaking Poland for a second time in 4-1 scoreline. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah, we have a really close match.
If you would have flipped that miss and have it been Bobber instead of Skylea, it very easily could have been Poland's point or super close and like down to droplets at the end there. It's just a bit unfortunate for them.
Yeah, definitely. Really unfortunate for Poland. But now we're looking at a 4-1 scoreline and United States pick as well. So United States have to think about this because they can't go for Hidden anymore, right? Hidden is completely exhausted. But I think, yeah, I was about to come. They were going to go for DT2. I think DT2 is by far the most difficult DT map, and I think they feel, well, quite confident on that. So, curious to see.
The interesting thing, though, is that they don't have Decreeper. So who's going to be that third double time player?
I think Colin has to fill in those shoes. On the Polish side, I think Maurus is going to be coming back, and now we can see Maurus on his main mob, right? We saw him playing Hidden, but that's just not something he normally plays. But double time, he's a really good top 5 player. Maurus is really good at double time, so I'm really curious to see how Maurus is going to be doing his first double time pick in this CDC. I think I would expect an FC coming from him, honestly.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that third player from Poland.
Yeah, I think
it looks like we're keeping Lexi and Sekre in.
Yes, yes.
I believe Elix plays a bit of double time as well, if I'm not mistaken. So a little interesting not seeing him in here. Maybe this one, being one of the hardest double time maps, is a bit above what they're comfortable having them play.
Yeah, I think that that is definitely the case. It's a valid point you're making. Cosmos, Kylie, and Maurus, that is also a scary double time lineup, so this is definitely not a walk in the park for United States. But I would give them slightly advantage. If Lexi has been performing in this match, definitely missing out on Mixed Mod 1 and Hidden 2, but still 3 double S's coming from him. And Sekre, has he missed? Oh, he did miss on the Hidden picks, never mind. But he hasn't missed outside of the Hidden pick, so that's promising for the United States as well.
Yeah, for the US, my eyes will be on Colin for sure. He normally performs really well, but has a bad, unfortunate habit of choking right at the end. And that could be fatal here.
That could definitely be fatal here. This map's 1 minute 40 in length. Low CS3. Miles going to be first to drop, actually, so for those events from Poland. It's a really dense map, as you can clearly see, and that is... well, that can catch people off guard. And it's quite wiggle heavy as well, in my opinion, so not an easy map whatsoever, even though it's only a platter.
Yeah, Maurus back up to 200 combo now because of that density. Score difference going to be locked in.
Still triple double S coming from the USA side, and 2 double S coming from Poland, actually. So everyone in this lobby performing on their top caliber right now. Beautiful to see, actually.
Yeah, a nice 100% across the board.
Very satisfying.
Cosmic now.
Dropping in the slow section though. And Maurus up once again. Double screen from Poland. Colin trading once, but Lexi and Sekre holding on. That's going to even further that lead. And only quarter left. Kylie is doing everything they can, but Lexi and Sekre still on to the double S, both of them. This is not looking too bright for Poland right now. They need like an absolute meltdown. And I don't think there's enough time for Poland, sadly.
Yeah, that's going to be it. United States going to be going to match point. And once again, kind of like I mentioned, we see right around that 3/4 mark, Colin slips up a little bit and finds a miss. But luckily for him, his 2 teammates having beautiful SSs and Poland just having a couple misses here and there throughout the map. Skylea with an SS as well, but 2 misses from ours, 2 misses for Cosmic.
Yeah, I mean... Colin once again ends up dropping though, so Colin is not able to FC in this match, but Lexi and Sekre, 2 of them are really, really strong. Way stronger than I anticipated myself, and 5 match points for the United States, so it's not going to be easy for Poland. And what do you pick now if you're Poland, right? Where do you go?
kind of want to see him try out Hard Rock, just because they have Skylea, who's crazy on Hard Rock, that will be countered a bit by Sekre, but I know from our predictions stream that Sekre was worried about Hard Rock, so I want to see what Poland can do with that mod that the US captain is worried about, but we'll have to see what they want to go for. They're taking their time on this one. They've been instant to pick every other map, but they're definitely a bit concerned now back against all with the United States being at match point.
Yeah, definitely. I think Hard Rock 2 seems their best bet. Perhaps Hard Rock 1, more consistency-based Hard Rock, if they're not feeling too nervous. But you're looking at 5 match points, so they have to break the United States twice, and that's not an easy task at all.
Ooh, actually, I missed that earlier in the chat with all the Polish coming after it. It sounds like Poland is using their tactical timeout to talk things over, figure out what's not going right, and what map they need to pick here.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I don't think every team in the tournament knows they have the ability to ask for a timeout, so I'm quite sure that's day for Poland to use it now. I think this is the ideal time for a timeout. They really have to think this pick through, right? Backs against the wall, so...
Yeah, meanwhile, it doesn't seem like the United States is too worried about how things are going. We have the captain clearly listening in onto the stream. How's it going, Sekre?
Don't worry, Queen. Okay, thank you, Sekre. I was waiting. I was waiting in space for that message, so right on time. Either way, I think Leku not being here is definitely hurting Poland, especially in the hidden. I think 2 hidden points were, yeah, unfortunate for Poland, because I think they would have been competitive on those if Leku was here.
Yeah, and 2 points doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about it, this is first to 6, so that's a third of the way to a victory that just given away because you were missing a player.
Yeah, definitely. But curious to see where they want to go. Still taking their time. Trying to get some momentum out of this match. Might be a good idea. I think they're probably discussing Hard Rock 1 or Hard Rock 2, or perhaps Mix Mod 2. It's one of the 3.
This timeout paying off well for Poland. U.S. captain spilling water all over himself. This was all according to plan for Poland. They just had to break that momentum and wait for the United States to just dismantle themselves from within.
And they do end up going for Hard Rock 2. So our analysis is spot on. It's always nice. And you go for Hard Rock 2, and honestly, this song is so good. It's a really good song. I tried looking for it on Spotify, but I couldn't find it for some reason. Probably have to look harder.
Yeah, it can be a little hard to find some of these more obscure songs, but definitely a banger and really awesome mapper Bunray for this one, so the map's going to be spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, the Polish team, they seem somewhat, I wouldn't say torn apart, but dissatisfied with their team performance for the fact that Leku's not here. Once again. But Hard Rock 2, the map is 2 minutes in length. It's, well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's straightforward. It plays quite nicely. It's quite, there's not that many of your typical Hard Rock patterns, let's put it that way. It's except for the end. The end is quite memory heavy. And if you haven't practiced enough or you're kind of nervous or something, those memory jumps at the end can catch people off guard, and then that can matter in the end as well.
Yeah, we're gonna see a very similar roster from United States. Sekre, Alexei, Colin. They've been playing a lot of these maps, and then Poland going Skylea, Cosmet, and Bobber.
Yeah, 2 really strong teams for this map. Rosters, I mean. 2 really strong rosters. Things to look out for are some of these streams where one node is kind of off track, I would say, and the combo at around 650 is somewhat harder, and then obviously ending with the memory. We saw a couple of triple-double S's coming in on this map, especially from Germany. I can think with Bauer Dogs being the first to drop, so that's not going to happen for the Polish side, and early advantage for the United States. Let's keep in mind, Poland's winner bracket run is on the line here in this point.
Yeah, they do still have the loser bracket. They can't pull out this victory, but they definitely want to stay in winner bracket as long as they can.
Definitely.
Halfway through now, no misses except for that one from Bobber. Cosmic now going to join him.
Yeah, things are not looking too bright for Poland. Skylee is doing everything she can, but 2 misses on her team and none of the United States. I mean, the United States is so consistent, right? Especially on Sakurai and Lexi. But Colin as well hung on to a beautiful double S, triple double S actually coming in from the United States side, so that's looking very scary.
Yeah, all Poland has to hope for is that this ending is tragic for United States, but Cosmic going to be missing again and still no sign of struggle from the United States.
Yeah, 150,000 score difference. And only quarter left. They need at least triple miss right now. And doesn't seem all that likely. Sakurai, Lexi, Colin seems so consistent right now. But the ending comes here. I would see who practice the memory. Bomber, the only one getting caught off guard there. And a beautiful triple SC coming in from the United States. Actually, do they catch the ending? They do. The triple SC coming from the United States of America. And that is a dominant victory on this last pick. And Bobber, in particular, somewhat struggling. It's a 200,000 score difference as well. And I mean, beautiful performance coming from the United States.
Yeah, we can see Skylea, definitely someone to be worried about playing against on Hard Rock, but unfortunately, Poland just couldn't quite pull it together with the other two players. And that is going to make it a 6-1 victory for United States.
That is a... yeah, United States seem really, really strong this year. I think this is... Well, I already said it a couple of weeks ago, but this is the year for United States, I do believe. And once again, Lexi, I think only missed 2 maps out of the 6. So that's 4 out of 6 FCs. Not bad. Sakurai also missed on 2 maps. Also 4 out of 6. So, well, beautiful performance coming from the United States. And here your winners once again, Zach, Sakurai, Colin, Lexi, Elix, and then the Creeper, who is not here currently. But he does, well, his team ends up winning this match. So they're going into their quarterfinals winner bracket. So that guarantees them of a top 12 finish, I do believe. I'm entirely sure about that, actually. But they're facing a clash versus Canada in the quarterfinals. So a North American clash between the United States and Canada in the winner bracket. Well, so on the other hand, Poland does end up dropping down to losers bracket, where they'll be facing... wait, this is the winner bracket. So we can actually confirm our 4 winner bracket quarterfinals. So we have China versus France, which is, wow, Indonesia versus Chile, Canada versus United States, and South Korea versus Mexico. Those are 4 really exciting matches, in my opinion. 3 North American teams still left, 4 Asian teams, and 1 European team in the winner brackets. If we're then dropping down to loser bracket, we see Russia versus Japan. That's also a really hype match. But actually, Poland ends up facing the Netherlands. Then continuing forwards are Argentina versus Taiwan, Germany versus Vietnam, Finland, Australia, and then Singapore versus the winner of Turkey versus Sweden, which is going to be happening later on today. And then Belgium versus Italy. I'm already terrified by looking at those games. And then Brazil versus UK or Norway as well. But yeah, honestly, really dominant performance from the United States. I think you can be very proud of your nation, Snow Leopard.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I expected the U.S. victory there. I did think that Poland was going to take a few more points, but I didn't know that Leku was going to be gone, and that clearly was a big hurt for Poland today. But they still got the loser bracket, still a lot of spicy matches to come, and in 20 minutes or 21 minutes from now, we're going to be watching Turkey versus Sweden. So Turkey's first appearance in CWC this year. Going to see how they can fare in round of 16.
Yeah, and UK versus Norway will be happening at the same time as well, so we'll be saying goodbye to 2 out of those 4 teams. So be sure to tune in then as well in about 20 minutes from now. I do believe we'll be taking a small commentary break as per usual when we have 20 minutes gap, but we'll be back soon. So I'd like to thank you for casting. Well, actually, I wasn't supposed to be here, but it was definitely a blast to be here with you.
Absolutely. Always love commentating with you. Appreciate it as well. So thank you guys all for watching, and go get some snacks and get ready in 20 minutes for Turkey versus Sweden. We'll see you guys then.
beasts as far as the eye can see. A plague on the surface, a disgusting swarm in the skies. With a crash of thunder, a new demon appears. Unfurling its rotten wings, it lets out a petrifying scream. Time to fight back.
苦しいね意味求め合うと悲しいね I wanna kill myself やめてよ Zip it もう聞きたくないの傷を見せてって言えないよ覗き込んだって見えないよ I wanna kill myself やめてよ Zip it もう聞きたくない You don't give me no sign I can't control but I can't control Give me some more can't control but I can't control 傷を舐め合うと苦しい理由違うの全部違うの重ねたところから影になってやがて腐りゆくんだ It's wrong, it's wrong 認めてしまうとしまいだ理解してしまう前に繋いだだからこぼれ落ちていること That's right, and now 君の存在 You don't give me no sign I can't control but I can't control
Hello everybody, welcome back to this final match from the Oscatch World Cup 2022 round of 16. We're going to be looking at Turkey versus Sweden from the lowest bracket match, but also going on at the same time, we've got Great Britain versus Norway, and we'll bring you updates on that when possible. So here's our two teams, Turkey in red, Sweden in blue, and reminder, both of these teams are fighting to remain in the tournament. Loser goes home, there are no second chances. I'm JB Hyperion and joined for this match by Luminite, who is preparing a coffee.
Not at the moment,
prepared?
but I will be soon.
Okay.
I woke up very late. If you caught me for the other match, Mexico Taiwan, you knew that I was gonna sleep in very late, and I did indeed. But I woke up. I'm here. I'm excited. Turkey versus Sweden. We did have a very fun time talking about this match when we did our predictions. I expect it to be very, very interesting. You know, we talked a lot about how Turkey seems to be one of those teams that you definitely don't want to underestimate. So I'm really interested to see how they compete against a team like Sweden, who has so much extensive experience in this tournament, Turkey being a very new team this year.
Yeah, Turkey, probably the team that are making their debut at the Catch World Cup, never appeared in a CWC before, that have done the best out of the other four teams that are kind of debutants. Sweden, a team of players that have been around for a long, long time, of wealth of experience in pretty much their entire roster, really. Looks like Turkey are going to be banning first. I didn't quite get to see what Turkey's roll with. Aseon from Sweden rolling the 60. A 5. That's a kind of an unfortunate roll from Zeus, the Turkish captain.
Seen
so
a lot
it will be
of
Sweden winning the roll.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of low rolls. Both Mexico and Taiwan rolling under 15, 6 and 11 respectively, so...
In Canada versus Russia yesterday, I think we had 100 versus 97, so...
Yeah, I think, I want to say Elux mentioned that, but rolls are all over the place.
So, Zeus, captain of Turkey, taking Hidden 2, Origami Angels, the title track, out of contention. We'll see what Sweden opt to ban next. I think that's a kind of decision that infers that Turkey aren't feeling very confident on Hidden. Because when I think Sweden, I definitely think a no-mod and double-time team as their strengths. Aseon taking a little bit of time to decide what's going to be taken off the table from Team Sweden. And No-Mod 1 being removed by Sweden, I think that's a sensible choice. Turkey, again, a newer team, doesn't necessarily have quite as much experience in playing these kind of map pools, at least in a kind of one-shot setting. So taking out one of the more easier consistency-focused picks probably suits their strengths. Force the opponents to play on harder maps where the pressure might build to them and affect them more than it would a more comfortable pick.
Yeah, that's a fair analysis, you know, and something we've talked about extensively is the fact that even though Turkey is a new team, you have been very, very clear in the fact that you're surprised they have not qualified prior to this year. They took a point off of Taiwan last week. There's definitely there's definitely no reason to count Turkey out of this match. I think they're gonna perform very strong, but these bans are definitely indicative of where the team's strengths and weaknesses lie. Sweden possibly just taking it out to force Turkey into a more uncomfortable position, as you said. So it's going to be interesting with Sweden picking first to see where they want to start off the match.
Yeah, both these teams were on the receiving end of 5-1 and 5-0 respective beatings at the hands of Taiwan and Mexico, two incredibly strong teams in their first week in the round of 32. Is Aseon already asking for the tactical timeout before even picking a map? That's very interesting. We've seen a lot of teams picking tactical timeouts like when there's kind of only 2 or 3 picks left, and they're kind of desperately kind of weighing up the options in their mind as to, is this pick better, is that pick better, like how are our opponents on this, give this person a little bit of extra time to practice. But Sweden taking their tactical timeout immediately, is that because they're trying to get someone else into the lobby, or they really do not necessarily have the plan set out? Interesting.
Well, I definitely hope for their sake it's the former.
Yeah.
Not having a plan, having to take a timeout this early, I would really hope that it has something to do with a difficulty that they're having, but... Ooh, man.
I mean, we haven't seen Aseon asking, can a player be moved to the server? So I'm not sure if it's a connection difficulty. It might be that that player just physically is not ready for the start of the match. And that timer is going to run out very rapidly, and they're going to be forced to make a pick and play whether their kind of missing player, if that is indeed what's happened, is available or not. Maybe they feel that Turkey are just so eager to get going that they're stalling for time to try and let them get more nervous.
Or on the other hand, too, you can be stalling to let that enthusiasm, like, turn into, into nervousness, yeah. They're like, oh yeah, let's get started, and then, oh, we have the pick now.
And they did leave that exceptionally close. Only about 20 seconds left on the timer, but it's going to be Mixed Mod 1, Summoning 101 coming in. One of the harder maps in the pool, especially for Hard Rock, I believe. And this is kind of a pick that I expected to come out of Sweden, based on the fact that they feel Turkey will want to play the easier, more consistency-focused picks, where they have a chance of getting really good team scores and competing with Sweden. Try and pick the hardest maps in the pool, and hope that they can maintain combo longer than Turkey. So we didn't see a lot of Meyaku on Team Sweden in the qualifiers or the round of 32, so good to see them making an appearance.
Some healthy team rotation.
Yeah, Sweden just a team of 5, missing kind of one player, or having one player slot available extra to them if they so wanted, but just opting for that 5.
Feel free, anyone in the audience, feel free to join Team Sweden right in the middle of the tournament. They have an open spot for you.
I'm not sure it quite works like that.
That would be fun if it did. We're waiting to get this pick started.
Okay, so we see a little bit of a roster rotation for Sweden relative to their previous round. We got Datapata again playing Hard Rock, but this time Aseon has switched to Nomad, and Meyaku's going to be doing that hidden role, filling in from where he was obviously not able to play in the previous round. Let me just check if we see an early break there from Mansek right at the beginning, but Datapata following up almost immediately with the Hard Rock. Hard Rock gives a 1.12 multiplier, so any misses from the Hard Rock player are significantly more important than others.
That being said, Meyaku finding 2 misses there. Zeus also finding a combo break now. 4 out of the 6 players really struggling right out the gate with this map. Mayaku's accuracy really low. Datapata finding another break. Mansek following it up. Mayaku another one. Misses are all over the board here for everyone except for Aseon and Flandre Scarlet.
Yeah, the two Nomad players definitely having the best time here. Flandre Scarlet does drop, as does Zeus, and Mansek as well. A huge team miss from Turkey lets the lead flow all the way over to Sweden's court now. Mayaku and Aseon having some trouble as well, but Datapata with that almost 200 combo is still just about keeping the score balance in their favor.
Mansek following it up with a miss now. Aseon losing his FC was pretty major. Mayaku and Zeus both missing now. Datapata the only person up at 200 now. Flandre Scarlet is going to join him here real quick. Mansek missing though again.
Yeah, there's some really tricky spacings with Hidden to balance the catcher, and also the high slider velocity sliders can be really punishing if you miss slider ends as well. Mayaku just not quite dashing quickly enough in that slow section to catch the end. Mansek also missing as well. I think overall Sweden are very, very slowly building an advantage, but this is absolute carnage on both sides.
Oh, for sure. Mansek finding even more misses. Aseon recovering nicely. 2 players on the Turkish team back up to 200. Aseon the only person on Sweden back up to 200. Mayaku finding more misses. Zeus gonna find a miss though. It was actually going pretty slowly into Turkish favor before that miss.
Yeah, Datapata had a miss 100 combo ago, and Zeus with the other Hard Rock kept the score going, bringing it much, much closer. Unfortunately, that miss from Zeus now is going to put the distance a bit bigger, but we see another miss from Mayaku, bringing it a bit closer again. That blue bar is getting smaller and smaller.
Ooh. Aseon finding a miss. Double miss on Turkey though from Mansek and Flandre. Again, that would have gone in a Turkish lead if they did not miss there.
Pretty much everyone dropped there within the span of about 50 combo. Flandre Scarlet missing right at the end. You could see Datapata was annoyed with that miss, but it's not quite enough to swing the things in the Turkish roster's favor. About a 17,000 point victory for Sweden. I think they can feel that they've gotten very lucky coming out of that one. Mayaku and Mansek in particular did not have a good time playing Hidden with that one.
Yeah, that was that was rough across the board. Lots of misses found, no FCs. Definitely, I wonder if Sweden expected going into this pick for them to have performed better, it being their pick, or if they picked it solely because they could not do worse than Turkey on it, which is a really, really meh way to look at things and could backfire very easily.
Yeah,
but I wonder.
Backfired. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm extrapolating a little bit because I didn't know how the teams had practiced and what information they've taken into account based on the other teams. But as Sweden, I kind of expected the mixed mod pick coming out early because, as I said, it's one of the harder maps, and they feel that tournament nerves are going to play a part, and they would just perform better than Turkey. It was a risk, and they've almost kind of destroyed both of themselves in that one opening move, like using your ultimate right out of the bat and just completely wiping out both teams. But it did just about pay off, as long as the following picks aren't negatively impacted by that risk taking.
Off of that, I expect to see some cat jams or rat jams in the chat. For nowhere overtime, the convert, one of 2 convert no mods.
Yeah, so anyone interested in following the Norway versus the UK games, currently 2-0 to Norway, having played No Mod 2 and Double Time 3, and they are also currently in the midst of this particular song, No Mod 3 Overtime, so no matter who you're supporting, you can pretend that you're watching their team with this one. Going to be getting underway for game number 2 now, though. As we said, Sweden just about squeezing out that early point on their pick. Turkey going to firing back with No Mod 3, one of the 2 converted OS difficulties in the No Mod pool for this round of 16.
One of the longer maps too, 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, there's quite a long intro here that's unmapped, so it's about closer to 3 minutes. The No Mod 4 is a lot longer, like 4 minutes, like truly 4 minutes in length. Thank you to the players all for letting us listen to the little groovy intro right now. I'm jamming out. You're all jamming out. It's all good.
Lots of rad jams in chat. Gonna get the actual map started here now. Oh, got our first miss from Miyaku on Sweden. Mansek gonna trade it on Turkey side.
Yeah, Miyaku getting caught out by those 2 sliders in the break section, not having the same slider velocity. And a couple more misses from Miyaku, they're going to give Turkey an early advantage.
Oh yeah, we got a double miss on Sweden now for Miyaku and Dadapada. Miyaku finding another one. I see Mansek trading it on Turkey though, so not going to run away with it just yet. See Miyaku struggling with some of these more like nitpicky pattern or direction changes. Seen him miss quite a few. I think there have been almost all of his misses. One of the struggles with playing a converted map. Miyaku finding even more misses now.
Yeah, Mansek's done well to build back up to that 200 combo now. During the break that we just saw, all players will have been able to see their opponent's score, so Turkey will know that they have an advantage. And that advantage has gotten bigger and bigger as the map's gone on. No break there, so Turkey won't know that the lead is stretched out further, but Miyaku dropping once again. Really, really struggling here as Dadapada gets back up to 200 combo though.
Mansek is struggling just like Miyaku and Dadapada, but Turkey has both Laundry Scarlet and Zeus holding on strong for their team. Dadapada getting back up to past 200. Asion's the only FC left on the Swedish side. But Miyaku really, really struggling with this map.
And Turkey know in this break they have a lead of 200,000 points with a third of the map still to play. They're doing everything they need to do, and pending like a complete breakdown from one or more of their players, they've got this one in the bag. There are some kind of tricky dashes into big slider velocities towards the end, but a miss like right in the last kind of 20-30 notes on its own isn't going to be that much of a problem as Mansek trades with another Miyaku drop. Miyaku and Mansek trading again. We see a drop from Dadapada as well there. Is going to increase the score gap a little bit. Asion still holding really nicely for Sweden, but his teammates are not able to keep up with him as Fernando Scarlet and Zeus are really putting in work here for Turkey.
Miyaku falling all the way down in his HP bar to 0. Building back up now, but he's really struggling with this map. Wow. Turkey blew that out of the water. Very strong pick for Turkey.
Yeah, really impressive comeback to lose out on a kind of narrow loss by only a few kind of tens of thousands of points in their opening pick and almost getting that break point, to now winning by over 200,000 and 2 players FCing. Like, this is why I'm surprised that Turkey have never qualified for a CWC before, because they have really, really solid players. I think Miyaku, if there's a person available, if Yukiteru Amano or who else is on their roster right now? I'm terribly sorry. I've completely forgotten. Blah, 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 blah. Eclipse? Yeah. If Eclipse or Yuki aren't available right now, I think one of them needs to get in, because Asion is not having a good time.
The converted. I'm trying to think of the word, but I'm still like trying to wake up. The converted accuracy, I'm going to say just for now, that is required of some really interesting direction changes in fruit placement. really caught Mayako off guard, I think. Looked at a lot of his misses. He's missing them not by very small margins. It looks like he would be missing them if he just changed just a little bit further. Or a little bit quicker, not further.
So it's becoming a bit of a theme here that Sweden are trying to let their countdown run out as much as possible. Although, as I say that, they do go into double time, which is something that I thought they would probably go for a little bit sooner. So double time 1, shoelaces, coming out probably the easier of the two specifics. There's an argument that Koigokoro, DT3, the convert, might be slightly easier in the double time pool overall. So speaking of players that aren't available, I'm pretty certain that Matt H is not available for the UK right now, because I haven't seen him in a single pick, and he would usually be like an absolute core, immovable member of that roster. And Norway have taken a 3-0 lead now going into, again, this same map. They're also playing DT1. Now Aesion saying move Yukiteru to the server, so if this is what they were delaying for to try and get time for him to join the match, they might have just about delayed enough.
While we wait for our Swedish friend, have you been to the Osu store, GP Hyperion? Have you been there recently?
I have perused the OS store, yes. I heard that there are very beautiful banners for sale.
Yes, I'm so glad that you're aware. We have very beautiful banners, very snazzy, very flashy. $2.50 United States currency. You know, support the team, support your team, support the World Cup. They look absolutely fantastic. I have one on my own profile for Team Mexico, still basking in their victory from last night. Please, sacrifice a coffee, sacrifice some McDonald's or whatever fast food is best available in your country. Show your support, show your love for your Catch World Cup team. All 32 teams that qualified are available, so lots of options to choose from.
And as you are plugging beautiful banners, there we go. The man, the myth, the legend, Yukiteru Amano playing in, I think, his 9th CWC, finally able to make it to, hopefully, buoy Team Sweden a little bit, because they've won 1 point narrowly, but then suffered a fairly crushing defeat against debutants Turkey. Hopefully they can get him to swing the tide, because they really need his consistency and experience right now.
Right out the gate, we're going to see a miss from Mansek. If there's any time to miss, it's definitely going to be before anyone else gets to 200. It's going to give a slight combo lead to Sweden for now, but it's not going to be too big. Aesion and Yukiteru both missing. Mansek missing, but Yukiteru trading it.
I'm not sure how much warming up Yukiteru Amanu's been able to do, but he is struggling a tiny bit with the catcher control of the dibble time, the fluid increased speed there. Mansek building combo back up nicely. Aesion back up to 200 combo. Zeus going to find another drop. Just Flanders Scarlet remaining with the full combo on the side of Turkey. But Datapad missing as well.
Mansek missing on Turkey. Yukiteru trading it. Mansek missing once again. Datapad and Zeus are recovering nicely. Mansek and Yukiteru still struggling. Yukiteru missing yet again. This is a Swedish pick. They do not want to give up a break point this early in the match. Yukiteru missing once again. Zeus now finding a miss. Flandre Scarlet now finding a miss.
even with the kind of almost team miss from Turkey, I think they've got enough of an advantage. If Manset goes down as well, they could be in trouble, but it has to happen right now. He does go down right now. Is there enough time for Sweden to come back into this?
Yukiteru's gonna miss. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough time.
Even if Yuki had held on the end there, I don't think it would have quite been enough. There was still 50,000 points to go. Flandre Scarlet with the one miss at When You See It, 727 combo. Yukiteru Romano, unfortunately, the difference maker there, only making it above 200 combo one time. This man needs to be warmed up. The whole team have been waiting for him. They're expecting him to perform at that top level, and unfortunately, I think he just needs a little bit of kind of tournament, gets the engine running for a little bit before he's able to compete at this map pool level. And you can see he's dipping out, hopefully to go and practice whatever's coming up next. Take a breather and get back ready for the next map. But Turkey, as you said, do take a break point, currently leading 2-1. Their decision next.
Do they go for the other? I wonder, actually, in a more general question, are they gonna stick to picking converts, right? Because they ran away with overtime. They ran away with it. So I really wonder if they think, okay, converts here are the way to go. No mod 4, for example.
If Yukiteru Romano was playing at kind of what he would consider his kind of peak performance, how he should be performing, I think Turkey would be taking a risk to be picking more converts now, simply because he's been around for so long and grew up playing converts and is a very, very good convert player. But maybe if they're gonna pick converts, they do it now before he's at full strength. I think that's a risk, but it might be, now that they've got a breakpoint, it might be something that they're willing to try and do. Turkey are taking a little bit of time to decide here, though. Hard Rock 3, so they are going with converts, but they're going to an unseen as yet mod pool. Norway have just taken a 5th point off of the UK, currently at match point. This one by a much smaller margin, only 16,000 relative to some of their previous points. So UK maybe in with a chance of sniping a point towards the end if they're ending on a high, but yeah, Norway definitely in the driving seat in that match, proceeding quite a bit quicker than this one.
One of my favorite names in the tournament, Lorem Ipsum, coming in for Turkey now.
How much of the rest of the Lorem Ipsum Dolor do you know?
Nope, that's it. Lorem Ipsum Dolor. Yep, just those three.
Fair enough.
I actually haven't seen that in a very long time. I just know how confusing it is.
It was like the thing that automatically came up every time you tried to make a text box in Microsoft Word in like circa late 1990s.
I was not alive in the late 1990s. Fun fact.
Oh well, okay. Thanks for making me feel old. But... So ref Leo giving both teams a warning that, hey guys, come on, really need to not let the timers run out from now on. So they have been warned. Hopefully we see things move at a slightly quicker pace from now on.
From a funnier standpoint, I absolutely love seeing picks be rolled. I know it's unfortunate for probably both teams, but as a spectator, seeing a rolled pick is like one of the most exciting things that can happen. It's like, oh my god, what are they gonna do? But yes, Yukiteru Romano coming back in for Sweden. Seems like everyone else going to be remaining unchanged. Flanders, Scarlet, Zeus on Turkey staying in, Datapata and Aesion staying in for Sweden. Well, Yukiteru also playing last map as well, but he just stepped out for a little bit.
All of these players have their little rituals and superstitions, something that calms the nerves, something that puts you in the groove. Sometimes you've just got to get out of the lobby, take well, I would say 5 minutes, but in this case, the most you can take is 2. As we see Dadapada just underdashing a big stack there at the beginning, tanking his accuracy, but as you said earlier, right at the beginning of the map, not a huge problem. This one is one of the shorter maps though, so if you do lose combo, it's kind of difficult to build back up in time.
Yuki Terra found a miss about 100 ago. Lorem is now going to trade it.
Yeah, that's going to bring the scores very, very close. It's going to be only separated by Datapata's early miss, but Yuki finds another drop there, just as he was kind of building combo back up nicely. Right before the break, missing again. Turkey can see they have about a 35,000 point advantage at the halfway mark. Looking good for them so far to secure another point.
Lorem missing at the beginning of this more intense section. Zeus also finding a miss. You can see the score immediately swinging it back over to Sweden. Flandre missing now.
Yeah, Sweden easily taking the lead here now with about a third of the map still to go, thanks to that spaced team miss on the side of Team Turkey.
Yuki Terra now finding a miss. Lorem's going to trade it though. Definitely not what Turkey wanted.
Yeah, Zeus and Flandre Scarlet still only just now getting back up to 200 combo. And we see another 3 misses, 2 of them on Turkey. Sweden eking out even more at advantage as we come into the final. The end of this map is really, really, really tricky, and we could see plenty more misses. So team miss, everyone goes down, but it is Sweden with the advantage of about 110,000 points. They build up enough of a lead, so they manage to take a break point back, and we're squared again at 2-all.
This is exactly how Sweden wanted to respond, getting that unfortunate break point just a little bit ago. They are now back in control. We are now back into a back and forth scenario. Possible one at that. With the warning being down, definitely going to stick to a 2-minute break much more faithfully. Wondering where Sweden is going to go now. They've kind of been all over the board with their 2 picks, mixed mod and double time.
And we bring news. Norway have secured that 6th and final point against the UK, so a clean sweep victory for them. Really, really well performed, closing out in style by 700,000 points on double time too. So they'll be advancing. Unfortunately for the UK, it is the end of their 2022 run in the Catch World Cup.
Yes, everyone, please give your thoughts to JB Hyperion in this very tough time. His team
I'll be
has
fine. Remember our heroes. So Leo did mention that they needed to get a move on, and they haven't quite got to 2 minutes yet, but they're not exactly racing to make a next pick either. So you really might end up seeing that random rolled pick that you were talking about earlier if they don't get a move on.
Okay, they've got it in. They're gonna go with a hidden 3, Anima. Now, last I saw this played against Mexico-Taiwan, this was an extremely rough pick for all of the players. Arguably both teams on a higher caliber than Turkey and Sweden, so I'm very, very worried to see how this will go.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting because this is approach rate 9.3, and the only hidden we saw either of these 2 teams play in the round of 32 was a long fall, which I think was approach rate 8.3, so way, way, way slower. So this is kind of testing a completely different skill set that neither team really has that much info on, which is maybe why Sweden took a bit longer to decide whether they wanted to go for it against Turkey or not. So Eclipse making an appearance. I was beginning to think that Sweden were very short on players, but they're making an appearance. That's good. Good to see.
Yeah, but it's always good to see some team rotation. Another very short map that is a little bit more dense, so there are still more objects in general. But still not a lot of time. Definitely don't want to find a miss on this kind of map, but as I said earlier, it's proven to be a rough pick.
Should mention this is also our first sighting of Shimu as well on Team Turkey, as we see early misses from Zeus, Yukitaro Romano, and Aesion. So slight advantage to Turkey. Shimu missing on that quick hyper chain there.
Ooh, a triple miss from Team Sweden.
Team miss. Yeah, Zeus the only person still holding at 200 combo, perfectly placed to build a score advantage, but everyone else around him is really struggling.
Eclipse finding a miss now. Yukitaro finding his footing. And as I say that, he will also drop. No one on Team Sweden over 200. Zeus, only person on Turkey holding on.
Eclipse and Shimu trading misses there. Yukitaro, Mansek building back up as we see another double miss from Team Sweden. Aesion and Eclipse going down, but a double miss from Turkey as well. Mansek and Shimu also falling. It is all on Zeus. He is carrying this score gap right now, but it's getting so small as Shimu is really starting to struggle. What happened to Yukitaro
really
Romano?
It is a client thing. His score is still coming through, it looks like, though.
I really hope he's stayed in the game, because Sweden have a definite chance of taking this. Shimu is having a little bit of time building combo, and Mansek has had a huge accuracy drop, down at 96% there. Aesion building back up, Eclipse back up at 200 combo. Zeus finally falls. After FCing almost the entire map, really helping build the score difference for his team. Is it going to be enough? We don't know what Yukitaro Romano's score is if he managed to finish and submit. We're hearing that he just disconnected from the lobby and therefore didn't manage to submit. In which case, I think since it was after the first 30 seconds, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to replay that point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be able to whether he got to that score screen.
Yeah, it depends on whether he got to the end and can submit the score, even though he disconnected from the tournament client. So while we await confirmation, we're kind of tentatively saying that that is a breakpoint for Turkey, which puts them 3-2 up. But we are waiting for confirmation to find out whether Yukitaro managed to reach the end score screen and can therefore submit the score. I mean, that looks like a screenshot of an ending score screen, perhaps.
Yeah, we do see a screenshot posted in chat now.
I haven't seen anything like this before.
I believe similar things have come up in Tiger World Cup. I'm somewhat familiar with this process.
Whilst we wait to see whether that score even counts and what the scoreline is, Zeus wasting no time in getting into double time 3. They feel that even if Yukitaro submitted the score, that they have an advantage here on double time, and they can maybe exploit a weakness from Sweden and take this one to a slightly bigger score gap.
Okay. So, Yukitaro's score was accepted. However, this is going to be painful to announce. They lost the point by 100 points.
What? Yukiteru's score added on meant that Turkey win by 100. Unbelievable.
So that was a legitimate break point for Turkey, edging out on Hidden 3.
I honestly don't know what to say. That's got to be heartbreaking for Sweden.
Seeing lots of off the rails reactions in the chat. That's all happening in both me and JBH's head right now. I cannot believe that. Wow. Ooh, I feel so bad for Team Sweden.
So there you go. One of our moderators has linked the score screen in the chat if you want to verify for yourselves. We're still waiting to swap some members. Flandre Scarlet is currently on Team Sweden. Needs to be swapped with Yukiteru Romano before we can get going. There we go. So, after the high drama of Yuki disconnecting from the client, still submitting the score, but falling short by 100 to give Turkey another breakpoint, we have to completely mental reset now, staying on double time, but for a very, very different map.
Yes, double time 3. See, it looks like Turkey is continuing to stay with these converts, only losing Hard Rock 3 so far. We'll see how they fare on DT 3. Datapad found a miss at the very beginning. Yukiteru finding one at a much worse spot. Won't at 200 yet, but a double miss already on Team Sweden.
Flandre Scarlet finding a miss right before another miss as well. A couple of misses right before 200 combo. Really struggling a little bit there, just dashing away from things slightly too fast. Datapad are going to miss as well, which limits Turkey's advantage slightly, but it is still currently at about 30,000 points as we come to the 1/3 distance mark.
Ooh, Mansek finding a miss. Aseon trading it though. Once again, Zeus holding on strong for Team Turkey.
So with those two drops now coming down from Turkey, I was just about to say that Aseon and Yukiteru Romano not being at 200 combo was letting Turkey build an advantage, but now in the break, Turkey know that their score difference is going to be very rapidly eroded in the end of this song. Is there enough time for Sweden to come back? But there's a double miss from Sweden!
Double miss!
This one is settled.
Yeah, Aseon and Flandre holding on. Flandre missing now, Mansek missing too. Not enough time though.
Turkey not finishing with fantastic combos, but had just about built up enough of a score gap, winning by about 35,000 points there. 4-2 to Turkey now, leading Sweden, one of the veteran teams in CWC. This is the Turkey's first ever CWC appearance, might I remind you all. So Sweden will get to pick next, and I think the double time plan, whatever their plan was for double time, I think it's probably going to be abandoned now, and they're going to have to look somewhere else. Do they go back for Hidden, despite the fact that they lost by 100 points? That seems like a little bit too much of a risk. I don't think Hard Rock against Mansek and Zeus is really a wise option right now. But then again, the two remaining nomads are very consistency heavy, and I think Turkey are definitely in the ascendancy. They have the better mental state right now, and you always perform better on consistency picks when you're in a much more relaxed mental state. I don't think they really have an easy out right now.
Let's see, as for converts, we have Nomad 4 left, Mixmon 2 left. just thinking about where Turkey could go after this point, waiting on Sweden's pick. If I was Team Sweden right now, honestly, I would, if I was a captain, I'd be like, all right, guys, toss what happened two maps ago aside. Don't even think about it anymore. We have a totally different mission from here on out now. Gotta reset that mental.
Yeah, they have to find some way to reset.
Yeah.
They are going to go with No Mod 4. That is very interesting. That is the longest map in the pool, obviously aside from the tiebreaker. So it is the most consistency heavy. And in a lot of ways, it's very similar to the map we just saw, except obviously without the double time added, because it relies massively on half jumps for most of its difficulty.
Four minutes and 14 seconds of fruit catching.
Taking a little bit of time to get started, as kind of has been par for the course for this match. But here we go, underway. Game number 7. Turkey, having taken a couple of breakpoints off of Sweden, currently leading 4-2 against the CWC veterans. Another breakpoint for Turkey here would put them at match point on their own pick. So Sweden really, really need to focus for the next 4 minutes to secure this point.
Seeing a miss already from Mansek and Zeus. Datapada trading it though. Once again,
that's
very early in the map.
Yeah, kind of the start that they wanted, at least insofar as they have the early advantage. But early misses, as you said, not too much of a problem here, just because the map is long and therefore it's quite easy to get back up to 200 combo and start scoring that maximum score per fruit. Yukiteru Amanu going to drop as well there though. That is definitely going to give Turkey the advantage, as pretty much everyone else is getting up to that 200 combo cap.
A miss on Turkey with Mansek. Datapada missing on the same time as Mansek again. Flandre dropping now though. Zeus dropping now too.
Yeah, no combos really remaining on the side of Turkey. Aesion is really helping to reel the score difference back in here. You can see that red bar getting smaller and smaller. If Sweden can keep holding, I think they will have the advantage by the time everyone's back at 200 combo. And there you can see it flipping over right now, Sweden taking the advantage.
$6,000 point lead so far. Now 7,000 points, but still very close between these two teams.
Yeah, very short break there, telling you just enough that you're doing okay, your opponent is doing okay. The pressure keeps building. If any one of you makes a mistake, that one mistake could decide the point. Everyone in a little bit of a calmer, less kind of strong dash heavy section right now has managed to build combo back up, but Mansek is going to be the first to drop again. Everyone else, apart from Franja Scarlet, so 2 misses now on the side of Turkey. Sweden going to be accelerating that difference as they do really well to get through that half hyper jump section. Yukiteru Amanu missing, but Mansek trading, so they still have the advantage now.
He only had Zeus over the 200 max. Sweden having Aesion and Datapada already up there. Mansek missing again. Flandre is going to get up to that 200 though.
Yeah, Aesion's double S with 1/3 of the map still to go is really, really buoying Sweden right now. He's a good 40,000 points clear of anyone else in the lobby, and the score gap is about 60,000, so most of that is all him.
We have 1/3 of the map to go. That's about a minute left still. Flandre finding a miss now.
Now Sweden will be feeling a little bit more confident with the 80,000 point lead and knowing that Flandre Scarlet did just miss, so that's going to be growing in size as the map proceeds to its conclusion.
Yeah, both Turkey players at Ardent Zeus underneath 200. Mansek's about to get up there. Nearing the final sections of the map. Yukitero finding a miss now. Aesion and Datapad is still holding on. Flandre missing it, so it's not going to help Turkey much at all.
Flandre Scarlet is wiggling everything. I don't know if he's flexing or has just given up on life right now. He is catcher dancing for days. It's not worked out well there.
Yeah, it cost him a miss right there.
So Sweden in the end going to be taking that one fairly comfortably. Aesion, fantastic performance. Datapad with a couple of early misses, but otherwise really, really consistent towards the end. Zeus also had some misses right at the beginning, but otherwise performed really well. Unfortunately, Mansek and Flandre Scarlet just not quite able to match the combo game of Team Sweden, which is going to create that score difference. So Sweden get a point back. They've had their pick. They're only reducing it to a 1-point gap, but Turkey do have that breakpoint advantage, and it's their pick next as they look to go to match point.
The Turkey being very consistent with picking converts, just lost a convert pick, but they still have, I believe, Double Time 4 as a convert and Mixed Mod 2 as a convert.
That is correct. I think it would be risky of them to go for Double Time at the moment, given how Koigokoro went. But I don't know, it's a very different type of map, so maybe they decide that the difficulty is more suited to their experience. The one no mod pick left in the pool, Time to Air, I think is probably the easiest map available to them. And as the match goes on, I think that's less likely to be picked. They're going to go with DT2 though, the dense 390 BPM platter.
Ah, this is your platter.
It is. Probably the most mechanically technical, not in terms of the patterns that are kind of laid out, but in terms of how quick and how often you need to change direction due to that high BPM and a couple of little wiggling patterns at 1/2 which get thrown in. This is a bold move from Turkey and I like it a lot.
Oh, if they lose this pick, Sweden will be 4-4. Their 5th point will be their pick. Mansek, big fan of your maps, JBH.
That's good to see. Thank you, thank you. I wish you good luck, but I of course wish everyone luck. I want to see both teams performing really well.
Flandre saying hello. We got lots of fans in the match today.
You're too kind. Hopefully you'll still be saying that in 2.5 minutes when this map is over and not cursing my existence. So yeah, Turkey looking to go to match point. Sweden, as you said, if they secure a break point here, backhand leveling things at 4-4 would be really, really hype, with both teams having just one pick left available. So this is a really, really key point for both teams. Eclipse coming back in for double time is interesting to see. Maybe they're giving Yukitero Romano a little bit of a rest for whatever comes next.
Alright, here we go. I think this is the shortest map. 1 minute 40 seconds. Two misses already, one on Team Sweden, one on Turkey, Zeus, and Eclipse.
Yeah, so despite being the shortest map in the pool, the sheer density in BPM means that the combo is actually like a little bit higher than you maybe expect. Zeus struggling a little bit with some of those wiggles, but still 2 players for comboing, and in fact, Datapad is going to be the first one to go down there of those 4, which is going to give Turkey a little bit of a growing advantage, but a double miss now, and a double miss from Sweden as well. Aesion once again holding Team Sweden together, clawing that gap back.
Datapad continuing to find misses though as the Turkish team recovers. We're halfway through the map now. Turkey with a comfortable lead. But we still have 1 key eye left.
Yeah, the twin misses from Datapad and Eclipse as Aesion goes down now as well. Turkey, all of their players at 200 combo, they're in a fantastic position to secure this point and to get match point now. Sweden have to just FC the rest and hope that more goes down as we see Flandra Scarlet and Datapad trading misses, but Zeus goes down as well. Flandra Scarlet missing again.
Another one. Eclipse trading in.
Mansek still holding a good combo, but oh my god, the misses are coming so fast we almost can't even commentate on them. Sweden have no real combos left as Mansek is going to be the one to carry this one out towards the end. Really, really convincing victory in the end there by about 160,000 points, 130,000 points.
That will be 163,000, yep.
163,000. So take a huge breath, because that one has taken all of my energy away. Turkey on match point, Sweden to pick.
Your map destroyed everyone there.
It did cause quite a few misses, but I mean, this is the nature of high BPM. Like, you're not going to just miss one note very often. You're going to miss in big stacks. So I think that is quite definitely the fastest pick we've seen in this match so far. Aesion going straight into Hard Rock 2, either deciding that this is their best or perhaps even only option that they feel they can play against Turkey right now.
Sweden still has time for a tiebreaker. They need to take this pick and break the point on Turkey after this. For now, it looks like on Team Sweden not only is 1 foot out the door, but they are being politely shoved towards that door. So of the only Hard Rock map to be picked, we have Sweden found a breakpoint on Hard Rock 3. Otherwise, Hard Rock has not been touched. Still have 1 and 2 left.
We saw a little bit of it in Mixed Mod, but of course that was only one person having to play Hard Rock. Now everybody got to stick the mod on.
And something I want to give some very strong credit to Turkey for, regardless. I believe they took all 3 double time maps. So they dominated on that mod pool. But it's all gone now.
I think Double Time 4 is still open to them if
that's right, there's
Sweden
4.
managed to win this pick.
Not used to there being 4 double time picks.
No, it is a little bit of a kind of novelty for me as well. So Yukito Romano and Lorem Ipsum coming back in on their respective sides for what might be the final point in this game if Turkey can secure another break point. Sweden looking to keep their CWC 2022 dreams and ambitions alive. So fans, now is the time to really get behind your team. They need your energy now more than ever. I don't think Turkey realistically want to let this go to a tiebreaker because the experience and the kind of pressure, the nerves, the knowledge of how to play in these high pressure situations definitely the advantage that Sweden hold. Lorem Ipsum missing a hyperdash and dropping a whole stack there though. The Aesion trading, as we see an earlier miss from Zeus as well.
Yeah, Sweden gonna come out of this early early few sections with a little Flandre finding a few misses there. Again, a very short map, about 2 minutes, but it is, once again, as you can see, quite a bit dense.
Yeah, so it's dense, but relatively kind of nicely flowing. It's one of the easier picks from the Hard Rock pool this time around. I'm surprised that it was left this long. I felt like at least one of the teams would have used it as more of a kind of comfort pick, but regardless, here we go. Sweden definitely building a huge advantage here now, though. That's going to be capped at about 90,000 points as everyone gets that 200 combo mark back with half of the map still to play. Sweden doing everything they need to do right now, just holding combo, trying to let the map run out. Turkey really can't do anything except keep FCing and hope for a Sweden miss. Probably
And
2 misses required. Yeah, Aseon, the Sweden MVP right now so far this match, is one of those to go down, but they're definitely going to need at least one more miss, possibly even 2. But they see a miss from Lorem Ipsum, they're traded with Yuki.
That score bar is getting slower or smaller and smaller as Lorem finding another miss though. It's gonna get bigger now. So we head into the final seconds of this map. It might be a very close point for Sweden.
We see a double miss from Sweden, is it going to be enough?
It's enough! Or not! Oh my gosh!
They-
Holy crap!
Sweden clutched it on spins, but both Yukitaro and Lorem missing that final slider. That could have gone either way. Only 1,500
my
points the
God.
difference. Sweden clutch it by the narrowest of margins. They could have lost that point at so many occasions.
My heart, dude, at that final end, it went from a resting heartbeat to like I just came back from a run.
So Sweden had the double miss, and I thought they'd thrown it away. They stole it back with a fantastic spin, and then they almost
then
threw it
missed.
away again, but they traded a miss. Holy
Oh my
macaroni.
god.
This match has been like 2 people just running into each other at maximum speed until one of them can't get up anymore. Like, we've seen matches that have been like very finely contested with just a single miss, finessed, lots of kind of tactics and point trading. This has just been 2 kind of teams running into each other until one can't stand up anymore, and we're getting to that point. There've been, 9 maps played now? Turkey have 1 more pick. If Sweden get a breakpoint, we're going to tiebreaker.
I mean, my hand is literally shaking a little bit after that. That was crazy. that last 15 seconds was the craziest moment of my weekend so far.
I mean, people that know me and have watched me kind of commentating on CWC for a number of years will know that I'm not usually the hype guy. I'm kind of like the calm guy that's like, this person was 12,000 points better on this pick than they were in the last round. Very calmly collected stats guy. But yeah, I couldn't help but jump up at that one. That was really, really intense. Turkey gonna stake Mixed Mod 2 on their victory, going in with all the marbles.
This is risky, I think. It is a convert. They have showed that they dominate when it comes to converts, with the exception of No Mod 4 so far. But they did lose the first mixed mod.
They lost the first Mixed Mod. They've been reasonably solid at Hard Rock and Hidden, both of the kind of 2 picks I'm thinking of, the one we just saw and HD3 Anima, were both kind of contested by tiny, tiny margins. I think this is a hugely risky pick from Turkey. I don't necessarily think that anything they could have chosen was significantly better, but I think Hidden and Hard Rock have been so evenly contested. Aseon saying sight read time. Not sure whether he's being serious there, but this is not really the inspiring team talk you want to be giving your team. If you're the star player in the match on your team, you don't want to be kind of saying like, hey guys, don't expect anything because I haven't practiced the map.
Yeah, that's... Oh man, I'm just in this. I'm in a totally different headset now.
So Aeon sticking on with Hidden. No Eclipse coming in. We've seen Eclipse play Hidden a couple of times for Team Sweden in these mixed mod maps. But it is going to be Aeon staying in. He's obviously feeling, despite the sight read feeling good, as we see an early mistrade. Datapada and Zeus both missing at the exact same combo.
Both the Hard Rock players as well.
Shimu going to be going down on Team Turkey, which allows Sweden a little bit of an advantage, but Aeon trades that not long afterwards. Going to bring things very closely back together, as long as everyone maintains combo. Zeus and Datapada both trading misses at the exact same point again, but Shimu going down as well, meaning that Sweden have a slight advantage as they're building back up. Flandra Scala and Yukiteru Romano, the two no-mod players, both doing really, really well so far. But as I say that goes down.
We are already halfway through.
Again. Yeah, this is not a long map. Again, 2 minutes in length. Zeus goes down. Datapada holds this time at 200 combo. Really, really good for Sweden fans.
I honestly, I can't. I don't even want to say anything. I'm too scared of messing anything up.
Yukiteru and Shimu trading misses. Zeus has still got a while to go building that combo back up, but he manages to hold on the wiggles, and this time Datapada is the one that breaks. That score gap is going to get smaller with a quarter of the map still to play.
Andre finding a miss.
Yeah, as Yukiteru is just getting back up to 200 combo, I think another trade there between Datapada and Flandra Scala, but Zeus goes down as well. Sweden have the score advantage here coming into the end, and we are probably going to be seeing a tiebreaker, the third of the weekend.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for for carrying me through that point. I was too afraid to say anything.
No problem. 110,000 points the difference. Aeon, for someone who said he hadn't played the map at all, would have been an SS if not for that one early miss. So that would be an impressive flex if that is a sight read for sure. So I don't think anyone had a tiebreaker predicted for this map, but hey, this has been a very surprising weekend all around. So let's go. It's extra mode time.
All right, tiebreaker hype, ladies and gentlemen. Turkey and Sweden gonna have to take this map to stay alive in the Catch World Cup 2022.
Either this is a losers bracket match, so whoever gets knocked out here is gone home. No more participation. Sweden have a history of getting decently far in tournaments despite being one of the kind of lower seeded teams. Traditionally a lot of older players that don't necessarily farm performance points for ranking. Turkey, as we said earlier in the match, their first ever CWC appearance. It would be huge for them to win this tiebreaker and win a knockout match at the first time of asking.
If you are a fan of the Turkish players or fan of the Swedish players, this is the time to show your energy for these teams. I am still extremely anxious to see how this goes.
So much PP overheat in the chat. Fantastic to see. We got 5 minutes, so don't burn yourselves out. Will it be Sweden bringing it back to another CWC knockout performance, or will it be Turkey making their mark on the grandest stage of all at the first year of being eligible to do so? We've got 5 minutes to decide who's going to be progressing in this 2022 edition of the Catch World Cup. Mansek, Flandra Scala and Zeus lining up for Team Turkey on the left in red. Aeon, Yukiteru Romano and Datapada in blue for Team Sweden. Mansek missing at that 200 combo mark, pretty much the worst time possible, but Yukiteru dropping a large slider tick on that little wiggly slider that you can stack, but you've got to be kind of well positioned to do so. So I think Turkey have just been given a huge lifeline here. That was a really, really unfortunate point to miss at for Mansek, but Yuki's slight mispositioning has given them a chance to stay in this one. But we're only about a minute into the map, so definitely a lot still to play for. But Zeus goes down now, just as everyone else is building back up. Again, Datapata trades now. Mansek goes down once again. Sweden the first team to really take a little bit of advantage in the scoreline.
So as you and I talked about when we did the round of 16 showcase, this map is quite a bit above the level of the entire rest of the round of 16 pool, as tiebreakers usually are.
Yeah, I think we had a little bit of guilt that the round of 32 tiebreaker was maybe not quite difficult enough, although we did only see it the one time. This map is really, really punishing, and it's fairly consistently difficult. There are very few kind of easy, relaxing parts as we get into a really, really dense technical section now. Landra Scarlet goes down, but Datapata trades several times, and that is going to bring Turkey back in within shooting distance of the lead here. Really, only about 5,000 points of the gap, I think.
As you say that, Mansek and Flandre both missing on the Turkish side. Flandre missing yet again. Yukitero trading it. Sweden's going to run away a little bit, though. Aesion finding a big miss there.
Datapata down as well. No major combos left for Team Sweden now. Zeus still at 700 now. 800 combo is really, really keeping Turkey in this one. This is one of the only kind of calm sections, but these half jumps are not small. You really still need to be paying attention.
We're halfway through this tiebreaker, ladies and gentlemen. Mansek finding a miss. Flandre too. Double miss on Turkey. One miss for Sweden. Yukitero finding a miss at the beginning of this very dense section.
Another miss between Yukitero and Flandre, but there's a double miss, triple miss on Team Sweden. Zeus still holding 1200 combo now. Mansek is above 200 as well. There's still no break here, so they won't know the difference, but that 20,000 score gap is going to come really far down within the next 100 combo or so.
And you can see the scoreboard getting smaller and smaller. We have 1/3 of the map. It's about a minute and a half still to go.
Everyone managing to catch the ends of those extended sliders. Flandra Scarlet and Mansek. Huge drop there from Mansek right before the final Ki section. And Sweden not trading a miss this time. Looking like they are going to be pulling away. Datapata goes down. Yukitero Mana goes down as well.
Yukitero finding another miss.
There's another twist in the works here. This score gap has come all the way down. Mansek.
Though. Oh my god. I can't do this.
Flanders Scarlet goes down, Mansek goes down again,
Aesion goes down,
no!
Zeus misses!
Zeus finally goes down. The rock of Turkey was holding them together, but Datapata also missing as well. Sweden have just about built up enough of a score difference, I think, here to secure this one.
Yukitero finding a miss, though.
There could still be a chance.
Mansek trading it. Only one person over 200. Flandre Scarlet on Turkey.
There really is no let up until the very last note falls. Combos building back up nicely. Aesion drops. I don't think there's quite enough time unless we see multiple more drops from Sweden here, though.
You see a double miss on Turkey, though. Yukitero missing too. Datapata also missing. Mansek finding a miss, though, at the very end. It looks like this is going to be a Swedish victory.
Yeah, there's just some kind of long repeat sliders here towards the end. Nothing too challenging that will tip a 40,000 point score difference. The experience of Team Sweden, having played in multiple World Cups, is going to win out as they take this tiebreaker 6 points to 5 in the round of 16. Turkey's inexperience in kind of these high pressure situations, their lack of like big stage tournament practice, unfortunately, they're undoing. They're going to be going home, but they can say without a doubt that they have lit the World Cup stage alight with how they've done so far in this, their first ever CWC. Huge props to Team Turkey, but it will be Sweden just about clinging on to that spot in the losers bracket.
Yeah, what a fantastic showing from Turkey. and we have given them quite a bit of praise both on stream and with predictions on your own channel. I mean, what a showing! This is the first year Turkey entered the Catch World Cup, and they brought such a bang. They did not disappoint. Their entrance was absolutely fantastic. But Sweden finding the win here, not an easy one for them, but they did it. Congratulations to Team Sweden. Moving on to the next losers bracket match.
Yeah,
Wow.
experience does count for a lot of things. Sometimes worth its weight in performance points and your seeding. Definitely proving that age is just a number and they can roll back the clock when it counts. Really, really well played to them. Commiserations to Turkey, as we said, but yeah, what a fantastic match and an excellent way to sign off on this weekend of round of 16 World Cup matches. So we're going to take a very, very short break, but we're going to quickly go through the bracket just for you right now. You can see the full lineup. Losers bracket is currently on screen right now for what's going to be happening in next weekend's quarterfinal stage. You can see there Russia versus Japan, Germany versus Vietnam, Finland, Australia, Brazil, Norway. These are all going to be fantastic matches, I think, that have potential to go very, very close. Italy, a very dangerous team there in the losers bracket that really, really shouldn't be, but hopefully they can bring their way back up. And up here in the winners bracket, China, France, Indonesia, Chile, Korea, Mexico, and US, Canada. Any one of those matches has the potential to be an absolute blockbuster. I can't wait.
I'm really looking forward to it, but I have to throw in I'm very nervous for Korea, Mexico. As a strong supporter of the Mexican team, I'm very afraid of that match.
So thank you for letting us have a look at the bracket. We went through that quickly. I guess as I was going to say, we're going to have a very quick break whilst we sort out everything for the map pool showcase, which is coming up for the quarterfinals, which is next weekend. I think I'm going to be joined by Seka and Nelly if they are available. And yeah, thank you very much, Luminite, for commentating with me. It was fantastic to have you as always. Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, of course. That was, I mean, yeah, what a way to end the round of 16. I mean, could not have been better.
So yeah, we're going to have, I think, about a 10-minute break. Obviously, stream's going to keep running, so you can keep listening to our fantastic featured artist playlist whilst we get everything ready for the map pool showcase. Don't go too far. Feel free to grab a drink, grab something to eat, stretch the legs. If it's still daytime, if there's still some daylight out where you are, do touch some grass, get some fresh air, and we'll see you back all for the quarterfinals map pool showcase very, very soon. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for your patience in sticking with us coming into this map wall showcase for the quarterfinal stage of the 2022 Oscatch World Cup. Once again, I'm JB Hyperion, this time joined by some of our player captains, Seka from Team USA.
Hello, hello.
And Nelly from Team Russia. How are you guys doing?
Hello. Okay, first off, I didn't expect we will be commentating as three. I would definitely be bored, but I'm doing good, yeah.
Good.
I'm looking forward to seeing all the maps. Should be pretty interesting this week. I heard that probably going to see a bit of a difficulty bump from the last week, considering we have, I think, 8 teams now that are been eliminated. Sadly, some teams have to go every week. And now that some teams are getting their departure, we can start getting towards the harder maps where all the players should still be able to play them relatively decently.
Yeah, a lot of higher tier teams that were playing this relatively weak pool for low tier teams have expressed like their negativity around it, because like the skill gap is so high that it becomes complete random based matches. So maybe this time we can expect a higher skill cap here. Maybe.
Well, we'll get right into it then. So no map pooler this time around to guide us through why everything was picked. But we're going to have our two captains kind of blindly reacting and giving their thoughts. So I'll introduce the maps and point out some things that I either think or have been told, for the things I didn't get to, are very interesting, and then I'll just let you guys give your kind of immediate, honest, unopened reactions.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Okay, so let's get underway. Same pool size as previous round. 4 no mod, 3 hidden, 3 hard rock, 4 double time, 2 mixed mod, and 1 tiebreaker. And we're going to be starting out with Riel's Saisaki. Dapulus once again making an appearance in the no mod 1 slot. Was in the round of 32 slot and got a little bit of a bad reaction for being too easy, even for the round of 32. So hopefully this one is a little bit more fitting to the difficulty of the pool. This one is 3.5 minutes length, 105 BPM. Circle size of 4.5 is a little bit higher than some of the other things in this round's pool, but not as high as Nato, the no mod 1 from the round of 16. And approach rate of 9.3, very kind of standard overdose level approach rate.
So
once again, just a little bit of a consistency test. Some of these lower density sections are like fairly straightforward, but we come into some higher density sections a little bit later on, and the song mixes instrument and vocal in some like interesting layers. So you'll see some odd snappings and some like odd kind of 1/6 and 1/8 hyper dashes in places where you maybe wouldn't otherwise expect.
So first off, I really love this length because in the previous map pool, 2 of the specific ones are around 2 minutes, while the colors are all 3 or 4. So the length is already good for this pool already. As for the map itself, as I can see, it's typical number 1 with a little bit of consistency there. Obviously, it's a little bit high BPM tempo here, so you can expect these like a friction of a second tech part, like cold tech part. So this could be the only patterns that get a little bit off guarded, but you should be comfortable still enough to hit them.
Yeah, so I personally love this song. I was actually warming up for my match earlier today, and this is one of the few songs that I played. There's a ranked standard comment of it. I literally set a score on this song in standard like 3 hours ago. So seeing this here as the first custom map is so nice to me. Thank you, Dapu, for choosing this song. It is honestly one of the best Riel songs, in my opinion. And the difficulty seems to be like it's matching up pretty well with the map so far.
Yeah, we had some Riel in the previous pool in that hard rock slot. More of the kind of hard rock memory, low BPM hard rock reading style. This one a little bit more kind of just focused on consistency, some snappy patterns and some kind of sharp direction changes. You could see some little 1/4 and 1/6 tap dashes required to catch those little bursting patterns there. So otherwise a pretty good kind of mix of test of different skills, I think.
There you have a little bit of slow power, but you still you don't really need to sleep around it. Here comes the last part, for the last KI, which is relatively the same.
Yeah, the high density kind of sections aren't too kind of complex. They mostly follow fairly simple patterns and stacks and little small hyper chains like you can see there. But some of the hyper dashes into sliders can be a bit deceptive, because the slide velocity is a little bit higher than you expect. Not quite on the tech level of, say, like No Mod 2 from the round of 32, which had like huge slider velocity changes. But again, just a little bit of everything really thrown in there.
Oh, there you have a really short spin at the end. You definitely don't need to you don't really need to miss an eye on it. So moving on to the No Mod 2, we have Gemzu. Like before that, Sekri answer, where's Gemzu? Where's Gemzu map? It should be 1, and here it is.
Yeah,
it's not Gemzu 1 though, it's Gemzu 2.
It's not Gemzu 1, it's Gemzu 2. So this is Blackie's Artemis, 2 minutes and 17 seconds in length, 186 BPM, circle size of 4.2, so slightly more lenient than previously, but is traded off for with a higher approach rate. And this one is your much more kind of conventional, higher BPM tech map. Like lots of bursting patterns, lots of direction changes into and out of hyperdashes, some strong slider velocity changes as well, and again, not a map that has many kind of really calm sections. Even like these sections like here have some interesting slider patterns and some kind of slightly confusing rhythm choices where there are like grace notes and then there are different layers of the instrument followed.
Yeah, the first thing I'm noticing with this map is this looks so much harder than Nomad 1 so far. Like, it looks like it's on a completely different level, if I'm being honest. This one is definitely going to be more so favored towards the higher skill cap teams in this round, I think. You can see a lot of these, I think it's 186 BPM small wiggles right there, like that one being right there, another one right there. There's so many of them. Meanwhile, the last map didn't really have that much of a skill cap to it. It was kind of just say, like, hey, be consistent for 3 minutes and you're fine. But this one, you actually have to kind of be able to play these patterns, and if you can't, then you're gonna miss a lot. Like, that was a 5-note wiggle right there. This one is definitely a lot harder.
Yeah, the map really tests your, how do you say, tapping skills with a little bit left and right going forward. So this one, like, this is one of the maps that where you don't need to make any mistakes. Like, if you miss, you get immediately punished. So you need to be relatively good still. But for people who's into a little bit deeper into cash scene, this is kind of similar map with Free Digit World Cup. Like the same kind of artist, Blacky, same map of Jinzu, but even more modernized, I think.
Yeah, those sliders at the end can be quite punishing. You really just have to trust to hold dash and not turn around too quickly or you'll drop slider ends. But there are two specifics, both custom maps made for the CWC. Moving on to our converts now to flesh out the Nomad pool. This is going to be Ryusegun from Camellia, who is an artist that is very synonymous with World Cups and Catch World Cup in particular. Celine
Camellia.
and Taku's Extra. And when I looked at this map, I think it only had about 7 plays on the difficulty. So hopefully that's going to get ramped up quite a bit more with interest in the pool. This is a longer kind of consistency convert pick. You can see 4.5 minutes in length. Again, circle size 4.2 and approach rate 9.5, but has a much different kind of set of skills, despite being a similar kind of electronic rhythm gamey drum step kind of sound. So it's going to be a lot of half dashing and half hyper dashing, but it's going to be mixed in with some of these kind of dense wub sections and some very odd slider droplet formation as well, just in case you are kind of a player who's very interested in following those paths very closely to try and get maximum accuracy.
Yeah, so this map is definitely seeming to fill out the consistency role of the converts, being, like you said, 4.5 minutes nearly. It's definitely going to be quite an endurance test to see how much you can keep up with this type of convert patterning for that long.
And comparing to, I guess, both the consistency picks, because both of the Nomad converts were very long in the last pool, you can tell there's a marked difference in difficulty here, where it's not really quite so much about can you just keep tapping left and right at half jumps repeatedly for 4 minutes. There are some really, really technical patterns being thrown in here. Sliders that go the complete opposite to the direction that you'd expect. Tap dashing into and out of like strong slide, high slider velocity sliders as well.
Yeah, the map itself definitely tests a lot of control here. Like, if you played the tactical maps, but with converted ones, like the comfortable tech map in here, you would see a little bit similarities because, well, it's possible. Well, one, it's possible to see. Two, it's relatively easier than compared to, I don't know, other techs that have that features a top difficulty, and it's impossible to see. Do you guys appreciate the storyboard in the background, by the way? I'm surprised that it's even there.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice, honestly.
I'm not sure how many of our players will be viewing that during matches, but it's great for us to see on stream, yes. I think something that's going to be very interesting to see when and if we see this map played in next week's matches is which players feel confident to kind of try and stack through some of these wiggling patterns, and which ones feel either more comfortable or they need to wiggle like the little dense anti-flowing kick sliders. Because wiggling everything in a map this long, or feeling like you have to wiggle everything, is going to be a much larger strain on a player mechanically.
As far as I can see, like in the replay, there are some wiggles that you can definitely stand, but some of them, yeah, you really need to move around a little bit. But even then, if you did that, so it would be a little bit uncomfortable to press dash at the perfect time. And as you can see by the timer, we're almost there. Almost closing the number 3 here. I don't think there's many surprises after the Kiai part. Everything's relatively simple at this point. Just don't miss. That's it.
Yeah, don't miss and then you'll see. Easy.
Yeah.
A
Rule number
slightly
1.
spooky long slider there with some kind of far out droplet ticks, but not anything too drastic, as long as you're able to control your nerves.
And unless now, Camellia with Hatsune Mikus, so Mika fans are happy.
So rounding out our no-mod pool, we're going to be going, this time you guys asked for not too long consistency tests, so here you go. This is 1 minute and 48 seconds of approach rate 9.7, 201 BPM streamy piano pick.
Okay, so this one's still a little bit similar to Nomad 3, but it's even more brutal and shorter.
Yeah, and honestly, I really like that direction. I really think that if you have a longer pick, it should be slightly easier, and then the shorter pick should be definitely a bit harder. This looks quite a bit harder than last round for sure, and I think I personally like that. It's testing a bit of a different skill set from the last map too. The last map was more so about the how long could you do this for. This one is very much bursty and also has those cross-screen notes that you saw right there. Those are going to be catching quite a few players off guard, I think, considering the rest of the map is pretty much just a 1/4 dash stream at this point.
We see some hyper dashes inside streams there as well. Not something you see a lot of in specifics unless they're kind of really, really bigly spaced. Yeah, you can, as you said, a lot of these little half dash and half hyper dash chains thrown in as well, just so you don't have to only focus on microing platter control.
That stream was also pretty interesting. Usually you don't see those in a convert, but usually you'd see something like that in like a Jamesu map, but nope, this is not the Jamesu map of the round. We had the Jamesu map as Nomad 2.
Honestly, this convert looks really good, at least
Yeah.
for looking. Also,
Good,
I have to
'cause
appreciate.
it's unranked and it hasn't been updated in nearly a year.
So that's
very,
why. So the star rating is
interesting-
8.35.
an interesting direction that CWC in particular hasn't usually tended to go in, whereas some community tournaments have been a bit more keen to take graveyarded converted difficulties.
Yeah, and honestly,
Yeah.
I think that one fits the bill pretty well. Honestly.
So, no mod rounded out, it's hidden time, and AR8 fans rejoice, AR8 fans, or AR8 non-enjoyers, tune out now for the next 1 minute and 45 seconds. But it's definitely a song that everyone should be familiar with, although a mix that you may not be familiar with. This is Cosmo Boso P's new BSP style. So 130 BPM, although we do have a high increase to just under 200 BPM in the second half. And this is very much a map of two halves, where the first half is focused very kind of much on calmer patterns, but some of these big jumps that require a little bit more precision. And then the second half is a lot more streamy and kind of bursty More flow, but a lot higher density as well, so it requires precision in a different way. Approach rate is 8.2 and the circle size of 4.3.
Something that I'm noticing right off the bat here is a lot of these spacings are actually super small compared to what you would expect on the dashes. Usually you'd see the dashes be a little bit bigger, but since these dashes are kind of smaller than average, it actually makes it harder with hidden due to the fact that you have to think about, hey, if I press dash for too long, I'm actually going to overdash and miss.
Oh, here's the
Yeah.
the tempo's going up. That's what I didn't expect, but I had to, right?
So you can see it's generally a little bit more flowy than the first section, which used a lot more anti-flow. But again, this is made a little bit more difficult because of the lower approach rate. It's very easy to like lose slider tails and ends of streams there.
And also the tempo change. That will be a little bit off guard.
Yeah, that
Good
one's
map,
going to
though.
require a little practice.
But I'll ban it anyway. I'm sorry.
Well,
We
there's
can
some
play.
evidence to your opponents.
Ooh, this one.
Hidden
Oh, that's
two. Hidden 2 coming in now. Kimi wa Okumagaso. Can't even pronounce my own map by Urban Guard. If you are a mapper, you may have seen this one in the Featured Artist Cup that was most recently hosted by 1J, the Winter Featured Artist Cup. It was one of the 4 options that you could pick from. I think we only saw 1 entry from this one though, and since I didn't go for it, but the brief was for a low BPM swing/edge dash map, I immediately remembered this song and thought, yes, we have to map this. So this is 3 minutes in length, 100 BPM, but is a little bit deceptive because it's almost entirely mapped in swing 1/6 rhythm, so it feels a little bit faster than it maybe kind of is indicated by that 100 BPM. Approach rate of 9, very kind of normal, comfortable, and circle size of 4.1, again, pretty simple. The one you're going to be looking out for here is some fairly simple higher density burst patterns that you can maybe see coming into effect in a little bit of the more intense sections, but it's going to be balancing this little snappy 1/6 rhythm and some kind of higher density things in the key eye section later on as well. And again, the direction changes, very, very common, some higher slider velocity sections as well.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you went with AR9 for this. Typically, a lot of people kind of get greedy when they're making a hidden map like this. Sometimes you see mappers, they just say, I need to make it really hard. Let me make this AR8. But this is definitely the kind of map that AR9 just fits perfectly on because it's not too hard, and then it also puts more of the skill not on hidden itself, but on actually being able to play these patterns with the hidden mod instead of just being able to read it. So it is really nice to see that you did go for the AR9 like you said.
We get a little guitar solo section here which switches more from kind of 1/3 and 1/6 rhythms to more of a 1/4 and 1/8 part. You can see that bit's in 1/6, but this part here is in 1/8 as well, so just make sure you're kind of timing your jumps a little bit more carefully there as we get a little hyperdash chain and a couple of anti-flowing sliders as well, and then a small spinner.
Man, a lot of these patterns are actually so brutal looking at them.
Yeah.
I think the hidden pool this year is definitely taking a huge ramp up from last year. I think last year in this same round we had the Dave Cockapee model map. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that one was pretty hard as well, but this is looking like it's going to be a whole new level of consistency test.
If you can balance kind of everything on the very edges of your plate, you'll find that one quite a bit easier because it's a lot of 1/6 usage. If you're trying to catch everything in the middle, then you're going to be punished, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So look, a miss in the map pool. Hidden 3, Lukash's Glitch, one of my personal favorite featured artists. This is a converted difficulty from OS mode. A little bit longer, 3.5 minutes in length, but much quicker than the 2 that we've seen so far, or at least quicker than the first half or 3/4 of new. So 175 BPM, Circle size of 4 and approach rate of 9.3. Kind of similar to Anima, the settings-wise from the previous pool, but this one is much, much longer and has a very different focus in that we're much more keen on anti-flow wiggles and kind of some slightly technical sections with a little bit higher density being thrown in.
So once again, that we witnessed the Nomad 4, this also requires a really, really big control here, but this time with Hidden. So some of the players who don't really want to play Hidden will go into struggle this.
Yeah, and last round we had the Crowley Hidden 2, which had the wiggle section, or you could even stand still on the middle of the map. This one, you definitely can't be wiggling these, I'm pretty sure at least. Maybe it's just the skin that I'm not used to being the default skin. But these wiggles look definitely not play walkable, at least from my opinion. Maybe JBH would actually know if they are stand stillable.
So from testing, I found that some of them were like fairly lenient to do, but in sections like this in the Ki, you really, really want to be wiggling, because stacking even like a slight little bit out of position means that it's very difficult to change direction in time for the next things. Wiggling in kind of a map like this, I think, helps you maintain your own momentum, which is really helpful with reading Hidden.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the few rest sections in the map you can see here. Approach rate 9.3 with kind of this BPM is not too difficult to be reading and reacting to if you're kind of just reading things as they appear. So not too much memorization required. But really apart from that, there is not much in the way of rest periods.
Ooh, here comes the wiggle part.
You can see that not all of these wiggles are immediately after hyper dashes either. So in addition to wiggling, you also have to be very precise on leaving previous notes and catching things. Like we said with Hidden 2, you've got to be good at catching things on the edge of the plate.
The only good question is, who's actually playing this map?
Yeah, true. At least for my team, I could just say, hey Zach, hey Elux, have fun. And then Lexi's going to play it because he's insane with Hidden, but man, it's going to be really tough.
So there's another mod pool out of the way. We're moving on to Hard Rock now. If you liked the tiebreaker featuring Dave and Grieper, you get a little bit of Dave all on his lonesome with Ferriquitus feat Aitsuki Nakuru. I can't even speak tonight, I'm so sorry. Fake. This one is the longest map in the Hard Rock pool by quite a margin, just under 4 minutes in length, although some of that is taken up by this little intro here. 210 BPM, circle size of just under 5.5 with Hard Rock, and of course approach rate 10. This is longer, but as from my opinion, as someone who's not like a huge Hard Rock fan, fairly cozy 1/2 jump map without too many unexpectedly large spacings or edge dashes.
You know, you just said 2 words in the same sentence that I never thought I would hear. Or 3 words, I should say. Dave, Hard Rock, and Cozy. That is something you just don't think about on the top of your head.
Well, Dave's been around a long time. He is a man of many talents, I'm sure you're aware.
He is.
I mean, I'll be frank, it's a little bit cozy, as you say, from the glance.
Well, without trying to spoil too much, keep this in mind when you see Hard Rock 2.
Oh no.
Okay, you made me tricked already, but we still gotta need to watch the Hard Rock 1.
Yeah, Dave's someone who is very well known for making kind of like difficulties that aren't really indicated as such by their star rating He's a bit of a mean mapper, a lot of people would say. Likes these strong distances, lots of direction changes and anti-flow thrown in. Quite a technical mapper, but yep, he is very capable of mapping more comfy things like this. And if you're not as comfortable with Hard Rock, but you kind of know that you pick it at some point and you want something a bit more cozy, then yeah, this is probably the go-to. I can see this being picked quite a lot, like as one of a kind of first pick maybe.
Yeah, if you're pretty confident on Hard Rock, this definitely does seem like the map for you. It's really reminiscent of the Ascendance map from, I think, the semifinals pool last year, the Rock and Roll non-DCO. That was in Hard Rock there. It's pretty much the same type of archetype, albeit a little bit easier, of course, because it is the round of 8 instead of round of 4. But it has the same kind of style as that. And that kind of map was really good for the teams who wanted to show their presence on Hard Rock compared to the other teams who might not be as comfortable on it.
I assume it's a build-up part.
We get some little funky slider shapes like that, which aren't hugely problematic, even with the circle size being reduced with Hard Rock. But a couple of those big droplet ticks do stick out slightly, and if kind of nerves are playing a factor, then you might be letting those accidentally slip off the plate, which would be unfortunate.
Unless this map has a spitter, then it's alright. But I don't really see any.
It's on Ken's score, you can see that. There probably is a bit of about a medium-sized spinner, I'm assuming. At least somewhere in the map. Probably happened earlier on, based on the score.
So I set you up for preparing for Hard Rock 2, and here it is. TI's Kimi ni by Niam and Rusty, again, custom, created for the tournament. This is 134 BPM. Circle size is pretty much 6 with Hard Rock being added, and this one is about 3 minutes in length, so it's middling in length. This is quite a tricky low BPM pick, again, as I said, with CS6, and there's quite a lot of half jumps that will require either very, very good reflexes or some memorization.
I really don't like this map.
I really like this map personally. This map is honestly what I've been waiting for in Catch World Cups for quite a while. I've been waiting for the time when we get low BPM, Air 10, something like CS5. It's just such a niche skill set for Hard Rock players to be able to master this kind of stuff. A lot of times you can kind of play it to a certain degree, but being able to actually come into a match and FC something like this takes a huge amount of skill and practice on something like this. So it's good for me to see this finally being utilized.
But yeah, I do have to agree. Like this kind of mapping with Hard Rock is all uncommon.
Yeah.
So for the previous map poll, which was Hard Rock 1 collab with Ken and AFB, this one is relatively the same, but a little bit spicy one.
Yeah, BPM wise, it's very similar, being almost identical. The real kind of kicker here is the drastically reduced circle size.
Yeah.
And a lot of the half jumps are significantly more punishing than on the real Hard Rock 1 map as well.
Hard Rock be like.
Yeah, true.
Zicker, do you think like these kind of maps are partially memorization, or?
I think if you're not the best with Hard Rock, it can definitely be memorization to a degree, but I think if you are calling yourself one of the better Hard Rock players of this round, then it's not memorization. You can read pretty much all of it. And the good thing with both Minami and Rusty's mapping is that they have very predictable kind of spacings and patterning, which is also very nice. Even with Hard Rock, even though some of the notes do get randomized, you can usually pre-move a bit to where the next note will be. And you can see Ecker doing that in this replay as well. So I think Hard Rock as a skill on stuff like this, you can mostly read it most of the time, unless it's a really, really huge 1-1 gap, but we haven't seen many 1-1 gaps, mostly 1-2 gaps, so it should be fine for players.
And again, Miko gang, rise up. I'm not like into Vocaloid, but I know some of the bars, so this song is really for you. So
EKR
specific
giving
chords.
nothing away with regards to optimal spin for that final spinner there.
Yeah. So here
So-
goes a Hard Rock Convert, and this is from Hyun Wildcard.
It is indeed 2 minutes and 13 seconds in length, 185 BPM, which places it pretty much equidistant between Hard Rock 1 and 2. Circle size of 5.5, again, like slightly higher than the circle size 4, becoming 5.2 that we are kind of maybe expected to see. So what can I say about this map? There's a lot of rhythm difference between like half sections in the kind of calmer parts of the map that require a little bit of memorization, considering like the low density and the high approach rate. And some of these half jumps are going to be quite punishing. The Ki is really, really, really tricky, and the density spikes quite significantly. In terms of like stream deformation that we talk about with Hard Rock notes getting moved around, there aren't too many like really significantly deformed streams, but what you'll see is a couple of these kind of vertical triplets where the first one gets shifted. So you have big jump, hyper dashing, and then you get to stand still for a little bit, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, compared to the last two maps, this one definitely seems to be more on the snappier side, where if you're not patient enough, then you're going to miss a lot of notes. And you have to be able to hit these 1-4 dashes at the 185 BPM, which can be very hard sometimes, especially when you see what Hard Rock does to some of these notes with the deformations.
Yeah, some of these dashes are brutal. Even if you like remember the entire map, it still could be a little bit of trouble to not knowing like at one point like you need to tap a walk and a dash at the same time at the quick distance. And there you
Cool
have a
bell hit
typical spinner.
sounds thrown in there as well.
Yeah. Hard Rock's done. Now my favorite category is double time. Let's see if we have
time.
AR stuff.
Well, there you go. There's a AR9 DT straight off the bat. Nelly. Hope you enjoy.
We won.
That's crazy. I did not think that we would get to see an Air 9 double time map in the round of 8 right here. This is honestly something that's pretty new, I'm assuming, to Catch World Cup and most tournaments in general. Usually we see something like an AR 8.8 first. We had last round the highest AR being 8.5. So jumping all the way to 9 this early is honestly just crazy in my opinion. And it's going to be a Verdi map. Verdi does tend to map maps that are a lot more friendlier for double time. So it should be a bit easier on that side.
Yeah, so fairly straightforward with regards to patterning and flow, as you mentioned. But yeah, people who have been like kind of excelling in DT have been asking for AR9 DT and higher approach rates in general to come much sooner in the tournament. And hey, this time you get your wish. But to anyone who's not very proficient at like double time reading, especially above like 8.5, which is like AR10, when you add double time, this is going to be a test that they may need to put in a serious amount of grind for.
Yeah, and the thing about this is also a 4-minute map before DT. That 247 on the bottom right, I'm pretty sure that's after double time is applied. You can correct me.
That
if
is
I'm wrong,
correct.
JB.
It's close to
That's-
4, yeah.
Oh my lord. That's like, usually if I was going to expect an AR9 double time in this round, it would probably be on the shorter end because you want to kind of ease players into the course, right? You don't want to have to throw them the AR9 marathon.
Lol,
Actually,
nope.
like last time we saw AR9 Permanent Qualifiers was bad from Rockball, but it was like a 1-minute map, a cut version one. But here, oh man, you definitely need a lot of consistency there, because if you don't have it, it's over. Like, your pick's ruined, or the enemy's pick will be a fortune for them.
Yeah, the thing is, like you said, the last AR9 double time we saw in Catch World Cup at an early stage was Showdown from 2021, but that was in the semifinals. This is already in quarterfinals that we're seeing it, and that map was only 2 minutes before DT.
No, it was
So
semis,
quite a
my
big-
bad.
Yeah. Oh man, that is what a huge ramp up.
But yeah, we've
Sure,
already
some
seen
player-
quarterfinals now.
203 BPM is reasonably quick with double time being added. That these 1/4 little bursting hyperchains that you can see aren't something that you can just kind of quickly spam left and right for. They do require a little bit of precise timing. But thankfully
Yeah.
the flow with the quarter hyperchains is very lenient. So it is really just a test of how well and how long for can you read approach rate 9 double time.
Yeah, if you're not into speed, then you have a problem. Oh, null control! Here comes the tech double time.
Exactly. So this one is much shorter. 1 minute 36 is easily the shortest pick in the pool. 150 BPM, even with double time added, but do not let that fool you. There are some really interesting rhythm switches, large gaps without too much happening that then suddenly kind of transition into really dense patterns. Approach rate 8.3 takes you up to 9.9 or thereabouts with double time being added. And this is really a really good test of platter control at 1/4 and even some like 1/8 regular dashing, tap dashing, and hyper dashing.
You said it's platter, but it's not really platter.
I mean platter control, I don't mean that this is a platter difficulty.
Okay.
Catcher control. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really impressed that Bunray mapped this. Consider that I mapped it for XS hidden, but this time goes for double time. And honestly, I don't mind. I want to see more of this kind of stuff.
It is a
Null control be mapped in various ways.
It's pretty well done mapped as well. Maybe you can ask Bunray if she wants to take your diff and go for rank. Mr. JBH here.
Oh, I'd love to see more
most
maps.
of the Catch World Cup custom
Well,
maps.
I can't rank this one because I did hit sounds on it, but I'll pass it on to the relevant authorities.
Yeah, gotta ping Nokashi whenever he's around. I know he's watching. I'm pretty sure he's watching at least.
Please, Bunray, take my diff. I allow it. I allow it here on stream.
Let's go. Okay, so 2 double time specifics out of the way. It's convert time now. A map, or at least a song, that a lot of catch players who've been around for a while will be quite familiar with. Kawada Mami's Wings of Courage Sora o Koete. I believe there is an exam or Yumeno Himiko map of this in the rank section for specifics. But this one is, I think, the full version and is a converted boss difficulty. With double time added, it's over 3 minutes long, so definitely one of the more kind of consistency tests. Song is very much built around half patterning, so similar to some of the other picks that we've seen in previous double time pools, like the longer 1/2 jumps consistency test, with some little bursting patterns with higher density thrown in as well, but of course longer and a little bit more precise on these half jumps.
Yeah, the map itself is similar to Double Time 1, but compared to that, man, you need to have really good tapping control this time around, and a little bit of consistency, all to mix together.
Yeah, and I look at this map, and I immediately compare it to the Double Time 3 from last round, and I'm like, oh my lord. You know, last Double Time 3, it was a no-spin map, and it was pretty much just jumps at air 8, but this one is, you have to read it at air 8.8, plus you have to be able to be more consistent for a longer time, and it also has more than just jumps like the last Double Time 3 had. So this is just a huge step up in difficulty from the last round.
Yeah, that's something that we didn't mention. This is like Approach rate 8.8, which becomes 10.2 double time. As you said, for reading that for over 3 minutes, and it's 240 BPM with double time added as well. So there is still a decent amount of mechanical catcher control required, even on the simple patterns.
Like, this map right now is reminding me of something that was in a later round map pool quite a few years ago. I'm trying to remember which year it was. I think it was... Yeah, it was the finals map pool from 2018, Ikanai Borderline. This is reminding me of like a Air 8.8 Ikanai Borderline, slightly easier though. So we're just seeing how much of an increase that has been over the past few years. It's definitely not on the same level of that map, but it's kind of filling the same shoes on a slightly bit of a lower scale.
So we enter the last KI here.
You can't really tell at, or at least I can't really tell that well, at 10.2, 240 BPM. But some of those half jump chains, there's only like kind of 3 or 4 at maximum in a row, are really, really punishing, especially with the more fluid control of the catcher that double time gives.
I'm sure it's 8.9 with double time.
I think they're very similar, honestly. I know that 9 is 10.3 and 8.5 is 10, so everything else I just kind of lump into about 10 and a bit.
Nice wiggling at the end. I appreciate it.
So Double Time
Awesome.
4 was the more difficult pick in the round of 16, and I think it's been reversed a little bit here this way time around. This is Luluet's Sayonara Tender. Is 2 minutes 51 seconds in length. Approach rate 4.2 and a much more user-friendly approach rate of 8.1, which becomes 9.7 with double time added. So as I said, this is the easier double time pick. I'm not stating for a second that it is easy. Not too many large 1/2 jumps, which is something that we kind of saw occasionally on the previous pick. And there are quite a few little 1/4 jumps thrown in as well.
Yeah, you can definitely see just within the first few seconds, like I said, this is definitely a lot easier than all the other double time maps, in my opinion. The jumps are shorter spaced than the last map. The streams are a little bit harder. That's probably going to be the main defining factor of this map, is how wonky some of these streams get. And I like that direction for the Double Time 4 maps. We had the same kind of thing happen last round with the Double Time 4 being more about platter control on the walks. And that is pretty much underutilized skill in Double Time as a whole, where usually in Double Time you just go fast, right? But this map kind of forces you to go a little bit slower and to pace yourself.
Yeah, the map in particular would be a really good pick for lower tier maps. I'm always keep it saying maps. Damn, lower tier teams. There we go.
Yeah.
And yeah, to compare to the previous map pool for Double Time 4, it's relatively the same. Like, you need to have a really good tapping control in order to full combo completely. This time really requires relatively the same. Like, you know, the same AR, like probably even the same tempo play. The tapping control is still like probably upgraded.
Yeah, the big difference I'm seeing is one incorporates farther jumps with it as well, and the fact that you're going to be having a lot more rapid tap dashes. The last one is more about placing your platter control with your movement keys and not really worrying about dash, but this one has integrated the dash key into it quite a bit.
We've seen a lot of wiggling in some of the double time pool previously. This one is like less focused on wiggling and is more about like tap, stop, which is very good test of catcher control, as you guys both said, with that extra speed that the catcher has with double time. So just one mod bracket to go, and it's mixed mod. And get your tiebreaker predictions in the chat if you have them. So again, Mixed Mod only having 2 picks in the round at the moment. So one specific custom, which is this one, Ponkichi's PBBQ. This is a FD Fluorite map. The head of our map pool selection team is 2 minutes and 13 seconds in length, 152 BPM. Very standard, circle size 4 becomes 5.2 hard rock. Approach rate of 9.3 should be fairly comfortable, at least as a reading aid with hidden. There's going to be lots of wiggles thrown in, which is very kind of, I think, familiar to anyone who saw Mixed Mod 1 in the round of 32 pool, something that is very common in Fluorite's map. Rhythm switches, again, very common. Lots of odds changes from like ternary to binary rhythm from 1/4 to 1/6 and such like that. That's going to be the real test for hidden, I think, is reading these little very subtle but also very prevalent rhythm changes. And I think hard rock, for the most part, is like clean. There aren't too many huge, unexpectedly high dashes or edge jumps and things like that. So we might see hidden being a little bit more challenging in some regards than hard rock this time for Mixed Mod.
I'm looking at this map and I'm thinking, this is brutal. I'm looking at this and I'm comparing it to Nomad 1 and I'm like, this is harder than Nomad 1 in almost every single aspect of the map. And this is coming in as Nomad. I'm not even thinking about hard rock and double time right now. This map looks really, really hard to be able to stay consistent on Nomad especially. And then you add in hard rock, I don't even want to think about how many of these notes get displaced with hard rock. That is something that I'm not looking forward to as a hard rock player myself.
But you have to.
Yeah, that is true. I definitely have to.
I'd say it's going to be brutal for Nomad, but for others, possibly.
Yeah.
At least for me looking from Nomad's perspective, because I'm Nomad specialist.
I do like the increased AR of 9.3. It definitely makes it a bit easier for hidden.
I actually appreciate the background of Zavian from Tales of Berseria Hysteria, if my memory's correct. Sorry for off topic again.
No, just to touch on something that you mentioned, Seka. Since you're such a high approach rate enjoyer, how about some approach rate 8 circle size 5 to fill out the Mixed Mod 2 slot? This is Cause K's Sig Sig converted difficulty, 2 minutes in length, 179 BPM, and as I said, circle size 5 becomes 6.5 with hard rock. There's going to be quite a little of a punishing precision test, and you all know that we have a very fond likeness for approach rate 8 in this community. So I think this kind of speaks for itself in that its difficulty is going to be like what the different mods are going to kind of find the most difficult, where the real tests are. Very old school in its patterning. You see a lot of these kind of like vertical sliders, horizontal sliders, not too much variation in slider control, and some big jumps like that one all the way across the screen, which could be punishing to read with approach rate of 10, with hard rock being added.
Oh
I
boy.
just saw that stream of verticals. Oh my gosh, that looked so painful for hidden and hard rock.
Yeah, no, you have like, I don't know, you have probably like, if you place like 10 cash players here and if someone will say like low AR maps with Nomad sometimes could be harder than regular ones, man, everyone would agree.
Yeah, I 100%
It's
agree
also
with that.
painful. It's painful for all modes combined, no matter what you're playing. Either hard rock, hidden, or even Nomad. It's going to be brutal. Only madmans will see
Lord.
this. Even at least one would be really good, like
Yeah.
really beneficial for
sure.
any team, basically.
Are you having preemptive night terrors about some of the stream defamation that might take place on these little stacks?
You know,
Yeah.
honestly, personally, I'm not that worried about this kind of map with hard rock or hidden. I think Lexi, that guy's gonna go wild on something. I'm happy to see Lexi be able to play something like this. I'm more worried about the Nomad. I think having to find somebody who can play Nomad on something like this, as well as finding that person who can play hidden, because usually you'd have that person who play hidden be the low AR person for the team. So having to have 2 people on that is going to be a bit of a challenge.
All right, it's now we witnessed the previous battle is actually how how you say, extra boat? How about this? Ghost Machine, Culprit and Zenji from Niam.
This is Niam and
his collab.
Nossery is the other collab partner, so Momox from the Philippines, if you haven't been following name changes.
I already expect a slider heavy map.
You know, I look at this BPM, I'm pretty sure it says 140, and I am so happy. Momox is definitely one of the better alt-style mappers, and that is pretty much when BPM is around 130 to 150. And you start seeing these types of wiggles that are pretty challenging to be able to hit if you're not accustomed to them.
So yeah, we saw Nossery mapping kind of swing style in Cosmica in No Mod 1 in the previous round. And this is also mapped in that swing style, so the BPM will probably feel a little bit quicker than the 140 that you're kind of suggested to there, because it's using 1/3 and 1/6 rhythms. And I've been told by my very handy map pool selector notes, thank you Fluorite, the last time we had a swing-based tiebreaker was Yoyami Hanabi 7 years ago. So if you're into your statistics and your history, some very funky little wiggles coming in there, then that's a little nice statistic for you.
Okay, Secret, this is Nausea Map on steroids already.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Oh, here we go. Yep, it's definitely slider heavy map.
You know, I actually really like how this is so far. Like, this looks really good.
Man, that TB would be fun to witness, but not so fun for the players who's going to play it.
I don't know, I look like I'm gonna have a blast playing this, honestly. It's the kind of map that you don't usually see that often. So playing this is, honestly, even if it is easy, which it definitely is not for the higher end teams, even if you feel like you're gonna come into this and you're gonna get an FC or a 1-miss, this is the kind of map that is just fun to play. You know what I mean?
Oh, the stepping changes go so hard here.
Yeah.
You can see
That's what I was-
1-3 with mix of 1-6 or 1-4, wherever it is.
That's what I was mentioning, yeah, there's 1/3, 1/6, 1/4, 1/8, like it's a snapping bonanza.
Now you see it in action.
We get some serious wiggling coming in this little drum step build-up part.
Okay, fairly comfortable 1-4 parts, even though there's a mix of like standings and going to a different direction than your instincts are.
JBH, I have to know, is this part of the FA listing as well?
That is a very good question that I should
I
probably do
believe
some
not.
research
I've
on.
never seen it. I mean, at least I never seen this song from FA, but
Oh, it is. Oh, this is such a good song, and I'm so glad that both Miam and Nossery decided to map this in this way.
oh, what was that?
Okay, Dave in the chat says that all TVs are part of the FA listing. That's good to see.
Oh, okay. That is even good. Right, not good, but awesome. Because I never knew that.
Yeah, and mapping something like this honestly takes so much time, and you have
And
to have
talent.
really have to have the taste for it. It's sort of like an acquired taste for mapping. You know how it's like when food, you have to say, oh, it takes a while to be able to eat something like this consistently, or you know, be able to like it. But this takes so much time and effort to be able to map properly that I'm so glad that both these mappers actually did such a good job on it too.
Especially from Niam, I didn't really expect he would collab this kind of stuff. Even though
Niam
he's the
has-
host who hosted it.
Yeah, he's usually been mapping a lot of these technical picks of the World Cup, and it's good to see him find that sort of wall for as a mapper.
Shout out
Yeah.
appreciation.
He's definitely taking it to the next level.
Yeah, it's going a little bit simpler compared to the first part, but it's definitely still brutal, even though.
You see Sonny in the chat saying it's 3 mappers, Jir, Nossery, and Miam. Jir only mapping one section, but still good
Jir.
to shout out his name, yeah.
Jir isn't listed on the map pool working sheet, so I'm terribly sorry that he's been left out.
Oh no. So now you know, it's only 3 mappers. Niam, Nasrin, Jir.
It definitely does make a lot of sense seeing some of the patterns. There was probably a few that you could tell were made by him. He has very noticeable mapping. Comes to stuff like this.
That concludes the pool of quarterfinals.
So
Definitely
yeah,
a huge step up compared to round of 14. Am I right, Sikri?
Oh yeah, for sure. This is probably the biggest step up in any round in any World Cup that I've seen personally. You kind of went from teams being able to triple FC some maps at the highest level to you're probably gonna see maybe 1 FC per team if lucky, you know.
there are
You must
certainly
be
some
correct.
maps in this pool that will be more suited to the strong teams to like Triple FC, but overall I think it's going to become a lot less common. You're right.
Sure.
It's still not gonna possible only by luck. I'm mentioning luck here, but it definitely works better way.
So whilst you two take your next week to practice the map pool and get ready for your upcoming matches, just a quick reminder to everyone that quarterfinal stage coming up. The first 8 of our teams have sadly been eliminated, so 24 teams remain. We're going to be seeing the 4 matches in the winners bracket, the quarterfinals, and then 8 more losers bracket matches, and then followed up by a little more elimination going on to whittle us down a little bit further and get us a bit closer to who's going to win the World Cup 2022. So if you want to see more fruit catching on this Grand Catch World Cup stage, please do follow the channel, OS Live, follow us on Twitter, same, and then you'll get notified of whenever we go up live. As has been said, if you haven't purchased a banner for the low price of $2.50 and you want to support your team and the World Cups, help make them as awesome as they can be, please do feel free to do so. If you select the winning team for your banner, then you get to keep that banner for a little longer than everyone else, just to kind of gloat as to how undying your love for your team is. And yeah, I think that's going to conclude us for now. So thank you very much, Nelly and Seka, for jumping in to do a little blind review of this map pool. It was great to get your feedback on things as they appeared.
Basically
Anytime.
live reaction of the map pool.
Pretty
But
much.
yes, much appreciated.
And I think that wraps us up for now. So thank you again for watching another brilliant weekend of the Catch World Cup. As said, follow us and you'll get to know when we go live. But we will see you all again next weekend for the quarterfinals. Hope you all join us again and have an excellent rest of your weekend. If your weekend is already over, please have a great week. Stay safe and we'll see you all again very, very soon.
See you on Saturday.